Hi, I'm Mo, and I'm Spartacus.
And I'm TJ, and I'm Spartacus.
No, I'm Spartacus.
And I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
You know I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
We talked about this before. I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
Son of a bitch. I'm Spartacus.
I'm Sparta-ish.
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Sparta-ish.
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
No, I'm Spartacus.
And I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
We're Spartacus.
We are Spartacus.
We are Spartacus.
The world is Spartacus. Spartacus.
Spartacus. Spartacus. Spartacus. Spartacus. Spartacus. Spartacus. Spartacus. Spartacus. Spartacus. Spartacus. Spartacus. Spartacus.
Okay.
And this is.
Oh, we had it. We're not going to redo it. No. I'm keeping this in.
Oh, just when you thought we couldn't get any more insufferable.
No. And this is.
It's still new to us, damn it.
Welcome to us, new to us, damn it. I'm Mo, he's DJ, and we're Spartacus, as we just said. And we're here to watch every movie ever made so we can be invited to parties.
Address those invitations to Spartacus.
Yes, please. Yes. Yes. How you doing, Spartacus?
I'm doing just peachy, Spartacus. I knew that it was low-hanging fruit to go with that opener, but you know what? Who says that we're not too good for low-hanging fruit?
True.
How are you?
I'm good. I think I'm good. I don't know. I think we're going through a haze. I don't know.
What you mean? Work?
Something, yeah. You know, you reach 30 and you're like, what is my life? What is meaning?
You're surrounded by Phil Collins.
Yeah, this Phil Collins is coming at me like everything else.
You're wearing a nice poncho. It's actually really nice.
This is my comfy shit. You know?
Yeah, it actually looks really comfy.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should really wash it more. But
it's a poncho. You're not supposed to.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. But besides that, everything else, okay.
All right, good.
How about you, TJ?
Yeah, 30 is an interesting age. And, I think when I was 30, I went through, a big transitional... I mean, it was also COVID, so, that obviously changed everything. But, I think that's, a time of metamorphosis for a lot of people. And you know what? I would wholeheartedly say my 30s have been better than my 20s.
Yeah,
so
I don't really have enough money to go through midlife crisis right now.
That is the interesting thing I think our generations are going to see, because you're technically Gen Z.
I'm millennial.
Are you millennial?
I think so. Even though I don't believe in those things.
But it's kind of BS. But these ones are actually interesting because of the technological revolution of the past, 30 plus years. Our generations are separated so much from the ones before us.
Yeah.
So that's why they are noteworthy. But anyway, I do think that a part of the increasing wealth gap or whatever's going on with more and more young people not affording houses as easily as our forefathers did.
True, yeah.
It is kind of pushing those milestones. I know a lot more people, and it's anecdotal, but I, myself included, that push marriage, having kids down the line, buying a house down the line, and it is what it is. You take the good with the bad. You got to play the hand you're dealt. But
and that's the facts of life, according to that one TV show.
That's exactly right. And you can learn everything from TV. It gives so much.
Yeah, that's what I did.
It gives so much,
mostly.
and it asks so little. So just watch TV.
And it hasn't affected me at all. Hasn't affected me at all. Hasn't affected me at all. What? Yeah, okay, I'm good.
Well, I'm sorry. If you're in a haze, just know you're certainly not alone.
Thank you.
I'm sure there's plenty of listeners of ours that can attest to that as well.
Yeah.
And we're thrilled that you're here.
Okay. Well, I think I need to get out of this haze and into a banter zone.
Fuck. That was me.
I think we almost like a second off.
Yeah.
We could hit it.
All right. It's something to work for.
Yeah, that's true. TJ, what you do? What do you watch? What are you eating? what you like?
I mean, honestly, same as the last time for the most part. Been watching Murder, She Wrote still, because it's just really.
Oh yeah.
It's just really. I think I kind of made reference to this last time. I am just so, of all the things, her amateur sleuthing ability, her folksy charm, I am above all things just so impressed with Jessica Fletcher's ability to stay positive when she is surrounded by death at every goddamn turn.
That is true. Yeah.
Everywhere she goes, somebody is heinously murdered. And she doesn't stop being herself, and I respect it. I feel like I would be changed by that point. I feel like I would be a lot different.
Yeah.
But I've been watching that. I am literally 75 pages to being done with the Hyperion series, and then I'll finally get back into Dune. So I'm looking forward to that.
Cool.
And otherwise, as lame as it is. Oh, I did go to D.C. for work, so that's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
I did go to Washington D.C. The Nationals were not in town, unfortunately.
Boo.
They were in New York playing the Mets. Also, boo.
Boo.
But D.C., it's a nice place. It's kind of like, regardless of your politics, and I do wholeheartedly believe this, regardless of your politics, every American should, if they're able, get out to D.C. and see all the monuments,
Yeah, I
the
did
memorial.
that growing up, yeah.
It's breathtaking, and the photos
Sure.
don't do justice. And this time, I was able to go to a couple sites I didn't go to last time. Most notably, have you ever been to Teddy Roosevelt Island?
No.
So it's just north of where I was staying in Arlington, Virginia. It's technically in Arlington, and it's like this little. It's this little island. You get to it on a small bridge. Think of it like a Stony Creek nature trail. It's
Yeah.
like a 1.75-mile path, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like in the center of it is the Teddy Roosevelt Memorial, and it's got a giant Teddy Roosevelt statue, like a beautiful bronze statue, some awesome like marble quotes of his. And what's so cool about his compared to the Lincoln and Jefferson FDR stuff is all great there, but this Roosevelt one is so cool because he was like the guy that established the Parks Department and
Yeah.
was a conservationist. So for them to put it right in the middle of a park is really cool.
That's awesome.
That was awesome. And then after we were done with that, my coworker and I were like, well, I guess are we going back to the calling it a night? I look on Google Maps, and sure enough, I see the Exorcist steps, and I go, oh no. I know exactly what these steps are. So we went, it was like a 20-minute walk from that island. So we went to go see the steps from the end of The Exorcist when Father Karras, spoiler alert for The Exorcist,
Yeah.
when Father Karras throws himself out of the house and down the steps to rid his body of the demon, kill himself.
Mm-hmm.
That is, those are the steps. It's like right on the campus
Cool.
of Georgetown. So
Did
we
you
walked
throw
around a little
yourself
bit.
down the steps to be accurate and to be a movie historian?
No, I actually really messed up. I ran up the steps while Gonna Fly Now played in the background, and then I stood at the top and did the Rocky pose. So I can't believe I mixed Rocky and Exorcist.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an honest mistake. We do that all the time.
Oh man,
I do that.
Dad's gonna be so disappointed.
I mix those up all the
Yeah.
time. But when we ultimately go to Philadelphia for a Lions-Eagles game,
Yeah.
I will throw myself down the stairs of the Philadelphia Art Institute.
That's good. Thank you.
So that'll make up for it.
You want to hear my embarrassing Washington
Yes.
D.C.
Yeah,
trip?
you had me at embarrassing, yes.
So I went there in like 12th grade for a field trip. It was my AP U.S. History, I think. There was a girl I liked in the class.
Ooh.
Yeah. I thought, hey, why not get to know her a little bit? And then I think we're at it was the place where all the states are. You know, they have little statues of each one or little.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's near the Washington Monument. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. So I was just walking next to her, and I don't know if I was trying to. I don't think I was trying to follow her, but she said, "Why are you following me?" I'm like, I wasn't," and then I just walked away cowardly,
Oh.
and then I never talked to her again.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's great. I also found out I suck at photography at that trip because I had a throwaway camera, the disposable ones,
Yeah.
and they're all terrible.
Oh, yeah. No, that's.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? that first story, though, that's just one of those moments in life.
Yeah.
I feel like we all have that moment.
True.
But yes, you have my empathy because I've had similar things, of
Yeah.
course.
And also, fun thing about Murder She Wrote, I just found this out. I didn't watch the video, but there's a Murder She Wrote day or something where I think a town in California get together and dress like Angela Lansbury when she's running. So they're all wearing like a tracksuit from the 80s.
That's awesome.
And the hood's up, and they wearing the track pants and everything, and it's all tucked in. Long socks, and it's just them jogging.
So freaking
Yeah.
funny.
I saw that, yeah.
I'm surprised California because it takes place in Maine, like
Yeah.
polar opposite region of the country.
I don't know why,
all the
but
Murder
yeah.
She Wrote celebration.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. That would honestly though, it does sound awesome to jog in Maine by the water.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Did I tell you, Maine's like one of the places I want to go before I die?
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
100%.
want to know the reason why?
Stephen King.
No.
Lobster.
Yes, actually.
Yes.
Okay, so in the 5th grade, we had to write a report of like places you want to go or somewhere. Everybody else chose like Disneyland or like the typical places. Hawaii. I wrote Maine because I like lobster.
Nice.
So now everybody is like, now anybody asks like, where do you want to go so badly like before you die? I was like Maine.
Hey, I respect that. No,
Yeah.
Maine is absolutely on my bucket list.
Yeah.
They don't have like any sports teams, do they?
They have like minor league baseball teams.
Sure, they'll have that, but like they don't have any pro ones.
No.
But no, Maine is absolutely on my short list of states to visit, just for the obviously like the historical, stuff, just the folksy small town stuff that you see in movies and TV, and the seafood.
Yeah.
You've been to Seattle. Seafood out there was outstanding, right? It's got to be outstanding in Maine too.
Yeah.
So that's a heck of a place to want to visit.
And I think John Hodgman lives there, so yeah, that's fun.
Oh, that's a plus. He's a gem.
That's true.
I did like the. I think I told you. I know you're a fan of the Blank Check podcast.
Yes.
You can redact their name if you have to for any reason.
That's
but
true,
it is a good podcast.
Yeah.
He was in the Dune episode. Of
Yes,
the
he
David
was.
Lynch.
Yes, that was a good episode.
It was good.
He actually and there's another podcast that's way better than all. It's called the Dead Pilot Society, where they take dead pilots written by like comedians and writers and stuff that were picked up by. I'm literally giving the log line what they say during the podcast, but they're literally picked up by studios, but then were dead. They decided not to produce them. And he wrote one about him being an only child in Massachusetts growing up. And one of the main scenes is him on a date with a girl watching David Lynch's Dune. Yeah.
What a first date.
Yeah.
That would be.
Yeah. It was fun hearing him saying, like, hey, like, you may not like Dune, David Lynch, but, like, it affected some people. So.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, and obviously it's grown a cult following.
Yeah.
Speaking of David Lynch, I did finish my rewatch of Twin Peaks: The Return, and definitely liked it better this time around. Now that I knew not to expect it to be a whole season of Dale Cooper getting. Oh, I'm not gonna say anything because you haven't finished season 2.
I have not.
Do you not know the end of season 2?
I know the end of it. It's just like. It's a rewatch. I gotta finally just watch the final 2 episodes and the final 3 episodes and be like, okay, I finished the rewatch. It's like a comedian, Scott Ackerman. He watched all of ER to watch The Pit, even though you do not have to watch all of ER to watch The Pit. But he's just like, I gotta do it. So he just did. So now I have to finish the second season of Twin Peaks again to watch the season 3.
It's
Twin Peaks. Yeah.
I've come to the realization that Twin Peaks as a work of art is probably my favorite work of art. It brings out so many emotions, and the fact that it doesn't ultimately make any sense is kind of what's comforting about it. Like when we started our David Lynch mini retrospective, when I chose those 3 movies, and it had been a while since I watched anything of his, I was out of the mindset that you have to treat him like an artist, not a movie maker, right? Actors are his paint, so to speak. And so when you go, like I said, when I watched Twin Peaks: The Return the first time, I was right after I watched through the show again for seasons 1 and 2. I watched Fire Walk with Me, and then I was ready for this show, and I'm like ready for action. It's not that. It's an 18-hour movie, is what his intention was. And if you watch it as that, and you take it as, yes, it is. It is a Twin Peaks work. But it's also like an 18-hour David Lynch movie that's very personal to him and very much about, kind of in a metatextual way, an artist at the end of his life. It is really a phenomenal work of art. And I had a much greater appreciation for that. And I swear I'm going to revisit Wild at Heart one day, because now that I'm like more on his wavelength, so to speak, I think I would absolutely dig that movie more.
Yeah.
I think at the time I was just like grossed out by I'm probably just grossed out by Willem Dafoe's teeth in that movie.
Yeah, I don't know, because we agreed with like Roger Ebert's, like this is like, it's like a sicko's fantasy, but we loved it. But, but it's like, is it nothing more than sicko's fantasy? But I think there is more to Wild at Hearts than we think.
Yeah, there's gotta be.
Because like I was watching a Man Carrying Things video. He ranked all of Lynch's movies, and he gave Wild at Heart 1 star the first time he watched it, like years ago. But then he ranked it like number 2 on his list, I believe.
Yeah.
So it's just like you watch it and it's like you find something else and you're just like.
Yeah, I can see that, and you can see a lot of that influence from that movie in his later, like in Mulholland Drive, in Twin Peaks: The Return.
I really gotta watch Lynch and Oz, because it really explains because I think he's fascinated by that film. Yeah. Not just Wild at Heart, but like his whole career.
Sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, you can tell that was a huge influence on him. So he really has grown to be an artist whom I've grown to cherish. I actually just got a T-shirt. I was I was drinking the other night, and my IG what do you call it? Algorithm feeds me. It feeds me ads for T-shirts, and one of them was the picture of Gordon Cole. Dale Cooper and David Bowie's Philip Jeffries together,
Yeah.
with in front of a picture of J. Edgar Hoover, and I was like, yeah, I want that.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It's actually really cool.
That's great. Yeah.
It's either J. Edgar Hoover or Eisenhower. I
Yeah.
couldn't tell, but
I do love. I do know one spoiler in season 3 that I don't think. I think either David Bowie passed away or he couldn't do it. But
Yeah,
he is replaced by a giant like smokestack machine. Yeah.
It's like a giant tea kettle.
Yeah.
And the scenes where you actually see footage from him from Fire Walk with Me,
Yeah.
he's overdubbed with an actual Louisianan or Cajun whatever actor, because when David Lynch reached out to him to say, would you like to reprise your role,
Yeah.
he said, I'm sick, I can't. You can use the footage though, but just dub over it because my accent was terrible.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So you
Yeah.
can't have an English accent for an FBI agent, can
That's
you?
true. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, sad. It's a lot of death involved. There's a lot of death in a metatextual sense, and a lot of those episodes, if not all of them, is in memory of somebody. Like there are scenes with the log lady that will genuinely make you tear up in season 3.
Did she pass away before it was released, or?
He filmed her scenes like her last weeks. She's
Wow.
very visibly dying, and
That is
what's
amazing.
crazy, like, and beautiful at the same time. It sounds weird, but like you get the sense that her lines are like she's kind of like it's not just her reading for this character. It's her actual like acceptance of this is the end of my life, and it's heartbreaking, but
Yeah.
like also kind of beautiful, just because like. Again, metatextual. Catherine Coulson worked with him forever.
Yeah.
She was married to Jack Nance, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's worked with Jack Nance since forever.
Yeah. The first movie he did. Yeah.
Right, and it's heartbreaking because by the time that shortly after that show dropped, they lost Miguel Ferrer as well. What's his name? Albert. Obviously, David Bowie passed away. Catherine Coulson passed away. There were just so many actors that passed away, and it's sad, but that is life, right?
Yeah.
And so rewatching that, it's just. I don't know. It's a good watch,
Cool.
as long
Yeah.
as you go into it with the right headspace.
That's cool.
We do still have Ben Horn,
Yep.
Richard Bamer. I think he's in his 90s.
Yeah.
And Russ Tamblyn, the guy that plays Dr. Jacoby, also.
Yeah.
I always think of them because they were in West Side Story. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Still weird. Ben Horn was like the lead character
lead.
of West Side Story. Yeah.
Yep.
It's really weird.
yep.
Yeah. How was
funny.
it? How was it watching Twin Peaks and then watching this like Fire Walk with Me? Like, was it like a complete? Because that's what everybody was. Like, that's what happened. Like, they saw Twin Peaks and was like, oh, this is gonna be another weird, fun little thing, and then it turns out to be an existential nightmare of a woman on the verge of death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's this modern consensus that like Fire Walk with Me is like his unsung masterpiece. I do like it.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think it's a masterpiece, but I do like it, and I do like what it adds to the canon, if you will.
Yeah.
I like the addition of the Chet Desmond FBI character played by what's his face, Chris Isaac,
yeah.
Philip Jeffries from David Bowie.
Kiefer Sutherland. Yeah.
Yep, Kiefer Sutherland. I do like the additions to it. And I do think that, I've read testimonials from people who really do struggle from the horrible shit that's shown in that movie.
Yeah.
And if it is cathartic for people, then I think that's a beautiful thing, at least.
Yeah.
I do like it. I don't revisit it often just because it's so dark.
Yeah.
But I will say I love that The Return really justifies that movie's exist. Because The Return actually pulls a ton from that movie.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you definitely have to watch that. It is required viewing if you want the full experience. You have seen Fire Walk with Me? Or
I have seen it. It's been a while. I feel like we should do like a David Lynch like ranking thing. Like we got to sort of rank all it. It's just like,
well, I don't want to tip my hand, but I have 3 movies I haven't seen.
I have. Let's see. I still gotta watch The Return.
Yeah.
I still gotta watch The Straight Story. Never seen The Straight
Never
Story.
seen that. I've never seen.
I do
Inland
have
Empire.
Lost Highway.
You've
watched
seen it
some
or
of
have not?
I've only seen some of it. I haven't watched all of it.
Okay.
So I gotta watch that, and then I have Inland Empire, which I gotta watch also.
If you we can save those 3 for next season if you want.
Yes,
And
yes.
we'll splice those with Mickey Mouse or whatever
Yeah,
you
exactly.
pick, or
Yeah. We'll do
Sallow,
that. Yeah.
something horrible.
Yeah.
But if we want, we'll tip the hand and say we'll finish the David Lynch movies
Yeah,
next
'cause
time.
I think I've seen mostly all of them. Let's see.
He's only did 10 movies, man.
Yeah, I've seen Dune, because we watched Dune, Wild at Heart, I've seen that. I've seen The Race Ahead, I've seen The Elephant Man, I've seen Blue Velvet, Mulholland Drive. Yeah, I've only seen like, I haven't seen like 3 of his films or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that then. That'd be fun.
I'd love to see the Straight Story.
I would too.
Yeah.
I actually think that I don't. It's interesting because it's like, why did you give this to David Lynch? But
Yeah.
also, given his like fascination with small town Americana, I could absolutely see it.
Yeah.
It does make sense.
David Lynch's Disney movie. It's great.
Yeah. No, I'm G-rated.
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 No, I'm all here for that. Actually, I'm looking forward to that.
No,
well, good. We've met our contractually obligated David Lynch speak for the
yes,
episode.
Exactly. Yeah. Like every episode, we talk about David Lynch for a little bit, and then
this started with me bad mouthing Wild at Heart.
Yeah. I know.
The duality of man.
Yeah, I don't know what we gave those films because I think we gave Wild at Heart like the Roger Ebert grade, like 3.5.
Yeah, probably.
And then Dune, I think we rated it like a little bit higher than it was, but I think we mostly all just agree with Roger Ebert, even though Roger Ebert did not like his films mostly, but we kind of like agree with him. Yeah, we understand, but we liked it like a little bit more than he did.
He liked Mulholland Drive at least.
Yeah, that
is a great movie.
That is a great movie.
That might be his best movie in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't want to be simple, but I still Blue Velvet. Like every time I watch it, it's just like I don't want to say religious experience because that's I don't know. I don't say tacky or I don't know. But it's just like it just makes me feel somewhat at ease, but not. It's just like this puts you in like a certain head. That's all his films, but this one puts me in a certain headspace that I just can't escape. It like just draws you in. It's like it's like when she sings Blue Velvet. It's kind of like that. Yeah,
you can't take your eyes off it.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah,
yeah, and it's equal parts horrific and beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. Like each film is considered like somewhat a masterpiece, almost. Like I don't think Dune is, but like people consider that's still a good movie. And even in then Empire, I don't think people consider that his masterpiece or like an up there movie, but it's still considered a great movie. So even Lost Highway's gotten like a reappraisal again as being once again like if you ask like 10 David Lynch guys or David Lynch fans, guys or girls, like what's your favorite David Lynch movie? They're all gonna say different ones because it's all this so good. So yeah.
No, and that's a strength that speaks volumes to an artist's work, I think.
Yeah.
And again, he's very there'll never be another David Lynch.
It won't be.
Yeah. Anyway, that is the end of my banter.
That's the end of the David Lynch.
Sure, that's the end of my banter.
Yeah. Okay. For me, I watched a few movies. I was lucky enough. Luckily, I think it's the 20th anniversary of this film, Speed Racer, released in 2007, and I saw that in theaters.
Yeah.
It's probably the greatest movie-going experience I've ever had in my life. I'm not lying. Like it's literally, people think, oh, it's Speed Racer 2007. That's terrible. No, it's it's really the greatest experience I've ever had in my life.
It got good reviews, I thought.
Yeah, no, it got like bad reviews. Like 44%. Like everybody thought, oh, this is crap. And then now it's been repraised a lot because like I think film nerds have taken it over because they realized like, wait a minute, hold on, what the Wachowskis doing here?
This audio was created with async.com.
Taking it over because they realized like, wait a minute, hold on. What the Wachowskis doing here is amazing. Like the way they edit the movie, green screen, like it's just like jaw dropped. It literally my jaw dropped like during the one of the final scenes in the movie.
Heck yeah!
It's like it's really one of the greatest movies experiences I've ever experienced because I've heard that before. I was also blank checked. The friend J.D. Amato loved this film. He really went to in 2007. He went to a screening with a bunch of NYC film students, and everybody was just like in awe, like me, and just like clapping because it was like, what is this experience? It's a goofy movie. It's insane. It's comical. It's a comic book movie. It's like a literally comic. It's like comic book come to life. It's a cartoon come to life. It's insane. If you haven't had a chance, it's probably not in theaters anymore. But if it ever a shot where you get to watch Speed Racer in the cinema, do it because you will not regret it. I gave it 5 stars. I literally wrote on my letterbox, "Yeah, this may be the greatest Speed in cinema history." Because I just watch it and I was like, I don't mean to sound like overhype it, but I'm not. Like your jaw's gonna drop. You know, it's still also a great movie. It's just. No words. I can't really describe it. It's just like you just gotta watch it. Like we always say, you just gotta watch it. But your mind will just explode with a million colors and images. You just can't explain. But you're just watching. You're just watching like I don't know what you're watching. It's like you know those like you see like old cartoons, old TV shows like of people high and they see colors and shapes and stuff. It's like that, but organized.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely, if you haven't watched Speed Racer. If you're lucky enough to see it in the cinema, see it in the cinema. But I also watched a movie called Project Hail Mary. Probably the newest movie I've ever seen in cinema in a while.
Yeah.
It's great.
You loved it?
Yeah, it
You
was
liked
great.
it
It
a
was
lot?
heartwarming. It was funny. It made me almost cry, I think. I don't know. It's a great heartwarming tale. It's been a while since we've seen one of those, and it really, really connects you with a rock creature. So you'll be just
I haven't heard a bad word about
yeah,
it.
you get very emotional over a rock creature.
Part of me
so,
wants to read the book, and I don't know why. I should just watch the dang movie, but I've heard really, really good. I've heard really, really good things about the book as well.
Yeah.
And it's like really scientifically, like rooted in real science.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the guy definitely knew his stuff while writing it, and also the movie is very scientific too, and doesn't really hold your hand with it, but you don't really need to understand the science. You just need to know that the main thing is the relationship between the alien. Don't want to spoil the alien and the main character played by Ryan Reynolds. So yeah.
Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah.
Or Ryan Gosling?
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling. Yes, and he was another great performance. Because he's been. I think he's just been the actor for I don't want to say our generation, but for the past top 20 years or something, 10 years, 15 years.
Yeah.
He's been the top one.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's had some staying power, actually.
He's been variety is. He's been varietable. I think that's a word. I'm not sure, or I just made it up. But he's been in multiple films of different genres, and he's taken it well to it. Whether it be he is dating a sex toy, or he's a goofy he's a loser detective or something like that, or he's Ken. He's taken all those in the best way possible, and he's nailed it. So yeah,
He's a good actor. He's got range.
yeah, he's got range. That's the word
Yeah,
I'm looking for. He has
100%.
range. Yeah, not many actors really go do different projects and do different things, but now he's still doing that.
Yeah, he really. Maybe he is slightly unheralded in that role too, where he really is everything, because he's a heartthrob. He can be a dramatic actor. He can be in a musical, right? He was in La La Land.
Yeah,
Yeah, he really can do anything.
true.
Yeah.
Not many actors have that type of range anymore, of variety and choices of movies. Chris Evans. He after Captain America, he mostly did crappy action movies, and hopefully that changes now. But yeah, but just they mostly just stay in the lane and just do their thing. But I like how he's just doing a little bit of everything, and that's amazing. Yeah, that's what actors used to do back in the day.
I love it.
Yeah, Roy Schreider. He was in All That Jazz, and then he just mostly played a cop, but he was in All That Jazz. He did other things, and he's amazing in All That Jazz. I think he's that was a great performance, and he's done other movies and stuff like that. And sometimes they take risks, and it's good.
Gotta take risks.
Yeah, sure. I watched another Abbott Costello film. It's called In Society. It's where the plumbers and the In Society.
Okay.
I think I know the formula of every Abbott Costello movie now, since I only watched 2 or 3. It's basically them doing gags, and then a pretty lady sings 3 songs, and you can just skip the songs. It doesn't matter. For some reason, there's always a side plot where there's pretty woman falling in love with a man that's not Abbott or Costello, or Abbott has a crush on the woman, but she falls for another man. And it's a plot you don't care about. You're just wondering why is Abbott Costello not doing funny stuff right now? They should be doing funny stuff, but yeah.
It's like Homer when he's saying, when Poochie's not on the screen, people should be asking, where's Poochie?
Yes.
Are you asking where are Abbott and Costello?
Yes, that's exactly why. Every time I watch the movie, I just skip the singing parts. I'm like, okay. I don't really care.
Well, were those just there to engage the audience, like a variety show type of thing?
I guess they couldn't really figure out how to write a whole movie based on their gags.
Yeah.
So they were just like, okay, we'll just stretch it out, add a up-and-coming actress or something, and just have her sing. And we'll have a crappy B plot of this poor girl's made into a high society or something like that. Or there's a criminal and there's a girl. It's something like that. So it's just which is weird, because I did not see that in the horror movies. But of course they have a horror villain, so I guess that it extends the plot more than what they have. So
maybe that's why they started throwing him in with the horror villain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure, yeah.
That is kind of interesting. They were pioneers, Abbott and Costello.
Yeah, they're one of the Three Stooges, them, Lauren Hardy.
And when you are one of the first, you do kind of have to figure out what's going to work, and maybe you do have to add a variety show type of aspect to it. That's what I'm thinking of with the cutting to singing or whatever.
I think they figured out mostly when they had the TV show, because they realized they can't really stretch the act into a whole movie, because it's just them doing the vaudeville acts.
Yeah, it doesn't.
You can't really stretch that into a whole movie.
Yeah.
Because there's acts, so you gotta have a B plot to find out a reason why we have these action set pieces, or comedic set pieces. So yeah, they were just like, okay, we'll just do a TV show, and they did a TV show, which is way better because you can just have segments and you don't have to have anything connecting them.
Yeah,
You know? Yeah.
That
Yeah.
sounds like it works. You like the sketches in them
I do
all,
love the
or all
sketches.
the bits, rather?
Yeah, the great comedic timing. I mean, they nailed it. I think, you know, a lot of the comedy today, that's how they got the comedic timing down. You know, just like that. A lot of people were inspired by. I don't know what I'm saying, but a lot of people were inspired by Al Costello because they got, you know, they were smart. They were physically they were gifted, but also like words wise they were gifted. They were able to say lines in a great timing pace that can make the humor land. You know. Yeah.
Who's on First is still gold.
Yeah.
It's still a really funny act if you listen to it.
I'm trying to think. That's why I was babbling before, but I'm trying to think of like a funny bit they did in the movie, but I kind of forget the movie.
Sure.
All I know is that there was a singing woman, and then she sung, and then. But there's this great bit where they're trying to fix a toilet, but they can't fix it, and so they just cause a great mess. And so it's like a giant typhoon just goes through the bathroom, and then they open up the door, and they all just fall out into the stairs, and Abbott Costello riding a tub like a ship.
Nice.
Yeah,
okay, I can picture that. Sounds like a comedic situation.
It's a very comedic situation, yes. But I hope to watch more. I hope I can watch more of the monster movies because I think those are the best.
Those sound like they're the best.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. And then we watched Stop Making Sense, the Talking Heads concert movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, by Jonathan Demme. Yeah.
Nice.
Still great. You know, it's still
seen it.
like the most energetic thing I've seen any band do. You know, you just watch the end, like the very end. You just see what's his name? Not John Bryn.
David Byrne.
David Byrne, just like jump up and down, having fun on guitar, and then all like Alex Weir, the guitarist, and Steven Scales, and the background singers. They fit perfectly, and it just creates a perfect blending of musical joy. You know,
it sounds lovely.
it is. Yeah.
I like the idea of musical joy.
It is great, yeah. You know, my dad loved it, so I watched it with him because he loves the Talking Heads. So it's like, oh, what do we like? Oh, Talking Heads. Like, let's watch that now.
Your dad's cool as fuck, man.
True.
He really is a cool dude.
That's true, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
I watched a lot of concert films. I gotta watch more concert.
Yeah, we watched actually Roy Orbison before he died. He did I think he called a night with a black and white night with Roy Orbison.
Okay.
Where it's him. And the backing bands: Bruce Springsteen, Elvis Costello, Katie Lang, Bonnie Wright, Jackson Brown. You know, like the best backing band you can ever have in your career. And it's him singing the hits.
Yeah.
It's really good. Check that. And then like a year after, I think he passed away. So yeah. Also, not to continue David Lynch, but he produced his greatest hits album before he passed away.
That is so bizarre.
Yeah. I just found that out recently.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just his songs with static going on in the background.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of static and sounds.
Did he sing, what was that clown song? You know the Blue Velvet song where what's his name?
Jeffrey Beaumont?
Jeffrey Beaumont.
The character? Or
No. Remember in Blue Velvet when Dennis Hopper, they're in the friend's apartment and the guys...
Oh, yeah.
Gene
oh my gosh.
Stockwell.
Yes,
Gene Stockwell.
Yes.
What was the song called again? Was it called like Candy Boy or something like that?
Yeah, it is something like that.
Yeah, it's like something like that. I'm not sure if that's a Roy Orbison song or not, but...
I think it is, actually.
I think it is, yeah. But he sings it like just so creepily and just so afraid the whole time.
It's such an unsettling...
Yeah. You just see Dennis Hopper cry, you're just like, oh, God.
It's called In Dreams.
In Dreams.
By Roy Orbison.
Yeah.
You know, it is interesting to hear of David Lynch producing a greatest hits album for Roy Orbison, but it is also worth noting, like, of his many talents, sound production.
Yeah, he was a sound editor on, I forget which film. I think Eraserhead, maybe? I'm not sure. Yeah.
Oh, definitely Eraserhead.
Yeah. But he was a sound editor for most, even on Inland Empire, I believe.
And every episode of The Return, he's the only credit, I believe, for sound editor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, he and his fingerprints, if you will, are all over the sound. It's really cool.
Yeah, 'cause I know he didn't do it for all those films, but I think some of his films he did sound editing. So yeah.
Yeah, no, he's that's definitely one of his strengths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. TV wise, we got new cable. We got the WoW. Luckily, we got Comet, the old version of the Sci-Fi Channel where they just showed old sci-fi stuff.
Awesome.
And Tales from the Dark Side is showing, so it's always fun.
Yeah.
I kind of miss the old like anthologies of just the old day, where it's just like, you know, I'm not gonna say like, oh, these new anthologies always have a message or something, but I feel like the message is more stronger than like the actual like goofiness of the series. You know, like you can still have a message, but I feel like you still gotta like lay on the hard stuff of like the weirdness of like the gross out stuff.
Oh,
and that
yeah.
way you can teach you lessons. Like a one I just watched where a mobster kidnapped a ventriloquist. He wants him to do an act, and so you're like, why does this guy want like him to do his act? Then he found out that he killed his partner, and he wants the ventriloquist to have his partner's dead body as a dummy, and commit to all the things he did to him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but then the spirit comes to life, and then his spirit comes back, possesses the real dummy, and then kills the partner. Yeah, yeah.
See, that sounds awesome.
Yes, yeah.
It's a tricky tightrope
Yeah.
between pulpy and like having a message.
Yeah,
Like-
because some of them do have messages,
Sure.
and some of them do work. You know, like there's one about there's like an Egyptian curse about roaches. Like this guy who this English inventor or something, archaeologist, like takes a tomb of like a mummy back to his cottage in England, and then the guy comes up and is like, "You cannot take this tomb. You stole this from us." And you know that's a message. I don't know if it's really a message, but it's a little bit of a message like, "Hey, don't take other people's culture or something like that." You can at least interpret that a little bit. I'm not saying it's the whole story, but they do it in a way that's like, you know, the guy dies because roaches comes out of his mouth. It's just like roaches invade his body. You know?
Terrifying.
Yeah. But I think there are some messages in there, like especially the ones I saw one where, you know, there's this evil guy and he and the devil, one of the devil's minions comes out and was like, "Hey, you got to work for hell," and I think it tells you about the evils of capitalism in a fun way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think it's Black Mirror. Like Black Mirror is good. I'm not saying every Black Mirror is like super serious or not, but you know, I feel like I feel like a lot of anthologies now is just like taking it way too seriously. You gotta have some more fun with it, you know.
I think that's the Black Mirrorification, if you will.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you look at Twilight Zone, Tales from the Dark Side, Outer Limits. You had equal parts camp and pulp, and then ones that had messages.
Yeah, especially Tales from the Dark Side. That was produced by George A. Romero. So that was him. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then he always had tinges of social commentary.
Yeah, he always did.
You
Yeah,
know.
actually, yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yeah, but it's just good to see fun pulp. You know, just like because I don't know, we don't really have that. Like the only anthology series like besides Black Mirror was the new Twilight Zone, and I don't think that really worked that well. So
it was such a weird case.
I'm not saying that had like heavy messages every episode,
No.
but just like it just didn't work for some reason. You know.
Yeah, I don't know. It is so fascinating. None of the Twilight Zone remakes have they've not been bad, but they've never ever scratched that itch.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting. Like, so what is it about the original run that makes it
that
so
also
timeless?
had messages, but you know, each one was felt timeless, and you know,
Even the ones that it's like are so anachronistic, or not anachronistic, but so like just dated in terms of the technology they show, which is basically every one of them, right?
yeah.
Somehow, some way, they still work, and I always wonder, what is it? Is it the black and white maybe making it look timeless to a degree? Like when you watch the '80s show or the 2000s one or the new one, for some reason in color, it's almost like that adds to it taking itself too seriously. Is it the having the narrator on screen? I don't know what it is about that original show that makes it still far and away the best version of the Twilight Zone. But it is interesting.
Yeah.
Because Jordan Peele obviously is no dummy. I know he wasn't really the head writer of the show.
He was just the producer of the show,
and the host.
Yeah.
But for some reason, that show it had some decent episodes, but none that memorable.
Yeah. Nothing can really just touch like the Twilight Zone, and even if like Tales of the Dark Side is fun, but it still can't touch. The original Twilight Zone.
Same with the Outer Limit. I feel like they all bow to the Twilight Zone, and that even goes for Night Gallery, which Rod Serling did after. It really is the king of kings, man. That show is so freaking good to this day.
Yeah, definitely.
So all hail the king.
Yeah, and I think that's all my banter I got because I don't think I'm reading anything else or anything like that. So I think we now must exit
the banter
zone. I think we got it. Perfect.
That was perfect.
That's perfect. Okay, TJ. TJ, what movie are we watching this week?
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
I am Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
I am Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
Okay, fine. You're Spartacus.
Thank you. Okay.
We are watching, what was it, Eyes Wide Shut?
Yeah.
This week? Yeah. Oh, no.
Nope.
Oh, I almost tricked myself. We watched 1960s historical epic Spartacus.
Yes. As
Yes.
TJ said, released in 1960, directed by Stanley Kubrick, written by Dalton Trumbo. Not an auteur. Oh no!
Oh my God!
Oh my
well,
God.
as we will find out later,
Yeah.
Stanley Kubrick has disowned this film.
Really?
Could it be?
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know why, but yes.
Is this his only hired for hire job? Like, because he says we'll get into it, but he was not the first director of this movie. But yeah.
So that maybe he realized I don't want to be part of it if I'm not, in charge of every aspect. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, he disowned it for some reason. But yes, written by Dalton Trumbo.
Yeah. Based on Spartacus by Howard Fast. Starring Kirk Douglas, Ace in the Hole, and Oscar. 1994, I think 1994 Steven Sylvester Stallone movie.
Yep, that's what he wants to be remembered for.
Where I think they tried to make a 1940s goofball comedy with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, I've actually seen Oscar.
Yeah.
It is bad.
Yeah,
it's a bad movie.
Do you know what's your history of Kirk Douglas? Because where I found him was when Animaniacs did a parody of him for like a cartoon.
Isn't that phenomenal?
Yeah.
It actually might be that. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's the interesting thing. I don't know. I have, despite the man living to be 103 years old, God bless, that is pretty damn awesome.
Yeah.
I have not seen a whole lot of movies of his.
Yeah.
I have seen this, obviously. I really liked Paths of Glory.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
God, and it's terrible, but what else would I have seen him in?
I've seen Ace in the Hole. I've seen Paths of Glory, and I think that's about it.
I've seen Inherit the Wind.
Have you seen Logan's Run? No, he's not in that.
No, I've not seen Logan's Run, actually.
He's not in that.
Oh, no, never mind. I'm thinking Michael Douglas for a second there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that much about him, but he is like Hollywood royalty. He
Yeah.
was, obviously.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty badass. He came around, he was a golden age of Hollywood-ish, right?
Yeah.
Era. Big through the 50s, 60s, 70s, and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did he appear more sporadically in films after the 70s, you think?
I think in the 80s, I don't know his record in the 80s, but he kept on working straight to 2003, I think.
Sure, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot of movies he's in, but he obviously was always a big deal because his son was in a great amount of movies.
Yeah.
And he was obviously just this, I don't want to say relic, but just this institution of past Hollywood.
Yeah, he's
right?
you think movie star in the 1950s, you think Kirk
Right.
Douglas,
Right. It's like how Clint Eastwood is now. He's still alive. He doesn't do much.
Yeah.
Right, in terms of working, but he's a legend in the game.
Yeah.
Okay, it looks like his last movie was 2008, Empire State Building Murders.
Oh, yeah.
A television film.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. Also starring Laurence Olivier, one of the finest actors who ever lived.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hamlet, the 1959 version, which won the Oscar, and The Jazz Singer, 1980, which you had 2 copies of the Jazz Singer soundtrack of Neil Diamond recently.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. A movie
That's right.
decided, let's keep the blackface, even though this film was probably set in the 1970s.
It certainly was a choice, wasn't it?
There was a choice. Like Neil Diamond, you play the jazz singer, but we still keep the blackface for some reason. Yeah.
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 It's an interesting choice.
Yeah. Gene Simmons. Yeah, her name is Gene Simmons.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Black Narcissus and Final Fantasy: The Spirit Within.
That's what she wants to be remembered.
Yes.
I've seen that, actually.
Yeah.
That's an interesting movie.
Yeah. Charles Laughton, Mutiny on the Bounty, and Abbott and Costello meet Captain Kidd.
Oh, man.
And he is Captain Kidd. Do you know you remember who Charles Laughton is?
In this movie, yes.
No. Do you remember how we know him?
I recognize the name. What do we know him from?
Hate and Love.
Oh, no way. He was in our very first movie.
Yeah, he directed it. He directed
That's where I knew the name from. Night of the Hunter.
Night of the Hunter. He directed Night of the Hunter.
Gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Because I actually really liked him in this movie.
Yeah, he was great.
He was Gracchus, right?
Yeah, I wish he directed. Yeah, he was good active. I wish he directed more movies. I think we said he directed one of the greatest movies of all time, right? I think we said
Night of the
that.
Hunter is awesome.
Yeah.
That is. Oh my gosh, and that's folks. If you haven't seen that movie, I always see it streaming somewhere. Go watch Night of the Hunter.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so cool.
Peter Ustinov, Logan's Run, and Charlie Chan and The Curse of the Dragon Queen, made in 1981. Gee, did you know what Charlie Chan movies are?
No, I've heard the name Charlie Chan.
So back in the 1940s and 50s, they did serial movies, Captain Kidd, or I don't know if Captain Kidd was one, Batman or Flash or something like that.
Flash Gordon.
There's one called Charlie Chan, who was a Chinese detective. Do you think the actor who played him was Asian at all?
I mean, no,
Yes,
I
yes,
don't.
he was not Asian at all.
Picture.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So in 1981, they decided, hey, let's bring back Charlie Chan, and he played him. So they kept the tradition alive of a white man playing an Asian actor. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Another thing that that Jazz Singer 1980 has in common. So
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my lord.
Yeah. John Gavin, Psycho, and 30 Modern Millie. Which she did. Do you know the plot of 30 Modern Millie?
No, I don't.
It's about a woman growing up in the Jazz age, I think the early 20s, and there's a side plot where the woman who owns like the place she's living at, the apartments, sells girls into white slavery.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's no good.
Yeah, it's not good, and that's a musical.
Yeah. Sounds appropriate.
It's on Julie Andrews, so yeah. So
Oh
I think my
my
sister did it in high school too.
Wow.
I'm not sure if they kept the white slavery subplot, but yeah.
I mean, hey,
I should ask her that. I really should. Or either she taught it in high school or she performed it in high school. I'm not sure.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
This audio was created with async.com.
Or either she taught it in high school or she performed it in high school. I'm not sure.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Get the
And
beats.
last but not least, Tony Curtis, Some Like It Hot, and the Bad News Bears go to Japan.
Yeah, Tony Curtis, he's very well manicured, and his eyelashes are spot on for a slave
Have
in
you
this movie.
ever seen the photo of Tony Curtis on the Flintstones?
Yes.
Yes.
Stony Curtis.
Tony Curtis.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's just his face. It's just,
Oh, yeah.
It's like
so
everybody else
bizarre.
looks like cartoon, but they just chiseled his face
Yeah.
into it.
And
Yeah.
it's spot on, too.
It's spot on, yeah.
I think they did the same with Rock Hudson.
Yeah.
How could you not? Rock
True.
Hudson, right?
Yeah.
No, yeah, I know. It's Stony Curtis.
Yeah,
Yep.
Tony Curtis. Yeah. We'll get into it. I always thought like Tony, like when I before I watched the movie, I was like Tony Curtis. That's a weird choice. You see him like you don't see him as like a Roman act, like a Roman times. But then you see it like it fits.
Yes, he
Yeah.
is such like a pretty boy, and I don't mean that in a mean way. That's just like kind of the.
You think of him as like like rock, like Dean
heartthrob
Martin. Dean
sure.
Martin. Like
A
Frank
crooner,
Sinatra.
a heartthrob,
They're
yeah.
They're smoking. They make fun of Sammy Davis Jr. for being black. Something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
He does actually work though.
Yeah, he does, right.
And they do allude to his his talents in this movie. He's a singer, so
Yeah, he's a singer of tales. But doesn't really sing. I guess singing back then was telling
poems, I
poems.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, actually, I thought the same thing. I was like, Tony Curtis.
Yeah,
Where
it's
the
like-
fuck is he in?
It's like when we watched what's the movie with the one we watched for this series, Barry Lyndon. You
sure.
think
with Ryan O'Neal.
Ryan O'Neal,
yeah.
like Ryan O'Neal. Why the fuck is Ryan O'Neal in this movie? But it works for this one.
Oh God.
Oh God.
man.
Oh man. Oh God. Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it really worked. I was
Yeah.
very impressed with
Yeah.
Tony Curtis in
Sure.
this, and we could get into that in a bit.
But before we get into the actual movie, TJ, why don't you tell us what the fuck this movie is about?
Set in the twilight of the Roman Republic, Spartacus follows the titular Thracian slave, a man whose indomitable spirit leads him out of grueling labor and into the gladiatorial school of Lentulus Batiatus. There, Spartacus is trained for the arena while still harboring a simmering, quiet resentment for his subservient role in life. A tension further complicated by his budding relationship with Varinia, a fellow slave whom Batiatus gifts to him in an attempt to improve his performance. Meanwhile, in Rome, ambitious young senator Marcus Licinius Crassus consolidates his power and plans to make a move against rival senator of greater influence, Gracchus. One day, Crassus visits Batiatus' school with his friend Glabrus, a Roman general, and demands a private gladiatorial match to the death for his party's amusement. During the bout, Spartacus is spared by his opponent, Draba, who chooses to turn his weapon against the Roman spectators instead of his fellow slave. Draba is promptly executed by Crassus, an act of defiance that, combined with Batiatus sending Varinia to live with Crassus, serves as the spark that Spartacus needed to spearhead a massive slave revolt the next day. Spartacus kills Marcellus, the gladiator instructor, and leads the slaves to freedom in the nearby countryside, where they establish a stronghold. Their plan? To march south, flee Italy, and return to their respective lands of origin. In the following days, Spartacus emerges as a brilliant tactician, transforming a disorganized band of refugees into a disciplined paramilitary force. The rebellion grows in size as Spartacus and his men free slaves throughout their march, including Varinia, who becomes Spartacus's lover. Eventually, the band's actions capture the attention of the Roman Senate, and Gracchus attempts to use the slave crisis to undermine Crassus's growing influence, while Crassus views the insurrection as a divine opportunity to install himself as the absolute dictator of Rome. Meanwhile, Spartacus's forces work toward a logistical endgame. They negotiate with Sicilian pirates to secure passage across the sea to their respective homelands, a plan funded by the liberated wealth of the Roman countryside. This undertaking is sabotaged, however, when Crassus bribes the pirates to abandon the slaves, effectively trapping Spartacus's army in Italy. The resulting tactical bottleneck forces a final, desperate confrontation between the slave army and the overwhelming might of the Roman legions. Despite their bravery, the slaves are decisively defeated and the survivors are captured. In a final effort to crush the spirit of the rebellion, Crassus offers clemency to any slave who will identify Spartacus. In a legendary display of collective defiance, the captives each proclaim, "I'm Spartacus," prompting Crassus to order the mass crucifixion of 6,000 men along the Appian Way. While Crassus achieves his political victory, his triumph is undermined by his ability to break Spartacus's dignity or secure the affections of Varinia, who has been reclaimed as his personal property. In a final act of political maneuvering, Gracchus, knowing that his own influence is waning, assists Varinia and her newborn son, of Spartacus, in escaping the city toward freedom. The film concludes on a note of somber, bittersweet finality. As Spartacus suffers on the cross, Varinia pauses before him to present their son, a free citizen, ensuring that while the man has been broken by the state, his lineage and his defiance remain unvanquished. In the end, no hilarity ensues.
Yeah.
Did I miss anything that you think?
No, you got it. I think you nailed it. Yeah.
We did talk about Tony Curtis. His character was not included in this, in my summary here, because I guess because it's just, there's a lot in this movie.
That's true.
And he's not necessarily integral, but I did think it was interesting that Tony Curtis plays a character named, he plays a character, named Antoninus.
Yeah.
And he is a slave of Crassus's. And you know the scene where Crassus is like bathing or whatever, and Antoninus is the one bathing him.
Yeah.
And Crassus is asking, do you like oysters or do you like mussels? What was it? Oysters and mussels, right?
I think so, yeah. Okay.
And he goes, oh, I like oysters but not mussels. He's like, oh, you don't like the taste of both of them? Did you see that scene in your version?
I think so. I heard there was a cut scene where they were both bathing each other. There was definitely some homoerotic tendencies in this film. Definitely. So, yeah.
Yes, I just was curious because that was an interesting scene, and I'm glad that it was removed. Basically, it was Crassus coming on to him, basically alluding to the fact that he swings both ways.
Yeah.
And Antoninus is like, I gotta get the hell out of here. Because that was my favorite part, is that's like immediately when he's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, he like how he escaped, like he just like I think Crassus was talking to something, and then Anderson was like, Antoninus, where'd you go? And he just ran out.
It's so comedic.
There's no great escape plan. He just ran out.
Shit. Anyway, I just wanted to add that in there. Yeah. Did I miss anything important?
No, you got it. You got it.
All right, cool.
Spartacus. So on Stanley Kubrick's scale, you said like he disowned it. I'm gonna say it right now. I did love this movie. It was great. I don't know. Where do we begin with this movie? Should we just begin like plot by plot?
I'm just gonna start right off the bat with there's only one time of this movie where there's narration, and it's in the beginning.
Yeah.
And it sets the scene at this slave labor camp, and my favorite. I won't say my favorite part of the movie because I too enjoyed this quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I laughed right off the bat when the narrator says a 13-year-old Thracian slave named Spartacus, and it cuts to 42-year-old Kirk Douglas.
Yeah. I was gonna laugh too, but then he said he's 13 years old, but then he grew.
I know, but still, it was so funny to me. I mean, yes, this whole cast is probably older than it should be.
Yeah.
But if you got good actors, you got good actors.
True, yeah.
So this came after Stanley Kubrick did the Paths of Glory, right?
So it's like he worked with Kirk Douglas on, but he wasn't the original choice. I guess let's go into like the background, I guess, of this movie a little bit before we get into the beats of the story and everything. So this started out because Kirk Douglas, he didn't get Ben-Hur. He wanted Ben-Hur, I believe he worked with the director before, but for some reason he said, no, I'm choosing Charlton Heston for Ben-Hur. So he's like, okay, I need a project. So he read Spartacus, and then he bought it with his own money, I believe. The author, Howard Fast, he wrote a screenplay for it, but Douglas didn't like it. He said it was a disaster, unusable. This is all terrible internet research on Wikipedia. So then we get into Douglas turned to old Donald Dalton Trumbo, the man in the bathtub. Mm-hmm. Famous for being one of the Hollywood 10, blacklisted to Hollywood because McCarthy was an asshole and decided to round up all the communists in Hollywood and ban them. Yeah. Even though it was unconstitutional, he could not do that. And even if you were a communist back then, it would be perfectly fine because in this country you can do whatever you want. But, so he was banned from working in Hollywood, and so Douglas did not care because he needed to make a good movie, and so he didn't have a good script. And if you have one of the best writers in the game just sitting there doing nothing, use him. So so Dr. Trumbo took a crack at it, wrote a preview of it, wrote a treatment for it, and then Trumbo did not like Fast, and Trumbo thought he was narrow-minded and didn't agree with his Marxist views because I don't think Trumbo was not a communist, but he didn't agree with his views. And so, but Fast did not like Trumbo either, and he said like you can't do this, you can't just do this to my script. But Kirk Douglas had like the deciding factor, and he was like, no, we're gonna go along with Trumbo's script because it's better than yours. So I'm not sure if Howard Fast agrees with this presentation of Spartacus or not, but this is the one they went with because he may be a great writer of books, but maybe not a great writer of scripts. So
they are two different art forms.
Yes.
To be very clear, I think you see, I can't think of any examples immediately off the top of my head, but I feel like that is definitely, it's hard to adapt. Maybe like Stephen King's a good example. Like you can write a compelling novel, but like also not be able to make a great film accompaniment for it. So they're completely different arts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
did you know this was based on a book before the movie?
No, I did
not.
I had
no idea. I thought it was just historical.
Yeah, me too. I thought it was historical.
Which
this is not historical fiction. This is not like a nonfiction film, but this is like
there's truth here.
There's truth here.
It's historical fiction.
There was no guy named Spartacus during Rome, and he did not.
There was
a guy named Spartacus.
Yeah, there was absolutely. There was a Spartacus. There was a Crassus. There was at least according to Wikipedia. I just go off Wikipedia.
Yeah.
They say there's a Crassus. There was apparently a Julius Caesar. I don't know. I thought that was I thought that was just a pizza guy. You know?
Me too. Yeah.
There was a Batiatus. It's historical fiction.
Okay.
But so real people, but the story's probably made more interesting.
Okay.
Right.
So did Spartacus actually lead a revolt of slaves?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely, and he did end up getting crushed by the Romans as well. But So
this is not probably like how it exactly went down, but this is a fictional retelling of the story.
Right, and they probably canonized the character. He probably wasn't this virtuous as we see. I mean, he's like pretty squeaky clean in this movie.
True,
right?
yeah.
He doesn't hurt.
That was actually one of the faults that Stanley Kubrick had a problem with, because him and Trumbo had problems during the filming of this. Mm-hmm. That's probably why he kind of disowns it also, because he had a lot of trouble making this film.
I found that he lacked total creative control, which is a requirement for his filmmaking process.
Yeah, because he had a lot of arguments with the cinematographer and probably with Douglas and Trumbo, because like one of the things, like I think in the review that Roger Ebert get on Wikipedia, it was just like he's like Spartacus is too clean. There's like this guy has done nothing wrong. Like so it's just like he's not a human. He's not a human being. He's a character.
He's a very. I mean, where does he end up in this movie? He's a Christ-like figure.
He's a Christ-like figure, and so like Stanley Kubrick did not want that because that's not how Stanley Kubrick does films. So,
true. Yeah, no, he definitely likes moral ambiguity. I think.
Yeah.
I didn't actually have a problem with that characterization for Spartacus. I didn't. And I'm sure, I've heard good things about specifically season 1 of the Spartacus TV show.
Oh, yeah.
It's supposed to be pretty good. I'm sure that one paints it a more realistic light. Mm-hmm. But I actually like, you have decades of just bombastic movie heroes. I like the fact that this Spartacus is not necessarily the squeaky cleanness of it, but the fact that he knows when to be a fighter and when to be a leader, when to be a general.
Yeah.
We'll get into it, but there's a really great line that I wrote down here. When he's in he's commanding thousands of people, right? He's commanding an army of thousands.
Yeah.
And when he's in the company of just Verania and he's like breaking down and he's like, crying at one point. this is the heart of the character. She says, "You're strong enough to be weak." He says, "I feel weak." She says, "You're strong enough to be weak."
Yeah.
And his strength isn't battle; it's the ability to lead. And I do love that he's empathetic. He's nurturing. He wants his strength isn't to crush people; it's to free people.
He tells Tony Curtis, "You do not have to fight. You're a poet. You should tell tales and inspire our men."
Exactly. When Tony Curtis runs away from Crassus overnight, he ends up with Spartacus's camp, and the other men are busting his balls. So what do you do? What can you do to help us? It's basically a big society here. Everyone has to pull their weight. What do you do? I sing. I'm a poet. Whatever. Well, that doesn't do us any good. That doesn't. And Spartacus is the one that says, "So entertain us."
Yeah.
Entertain us, and he realizes that there's value in that.
Yeah.
So he's a good empathetic leader.
True.
He brings. Actually, this would be a good character study for a lot of people in management. I feel like.
Yeah, true. Definitely.
But what do you think of what do you think of Kirk Douglas in this role?
I think Kirk Douglas did a great job in this role. I mean, I think Kirk Douglas wanted to be like a Christ-like figure. He wanted to be a hero. And it's Kirk Douglas. He plays that role effortlessly in any role he's in because that's like he has a great jawline. He's beautiful.
Yeah. Got the cleft
chin.
chin.
But he does plays with great sympathy, and I do appreciate that.
Yeah, I do agree. I can definitely see that he wanted to one up Charlton Heston
like,
or
wait
something.
a minute, a strong, strapping man saves people from slavery? I want to be that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And if you want to call it an ego project, a lot of actors get that.
I always wondered why the Animaniacs betrayed him in that way, and then you watch this movie, it's like, oh yeah, that's why they betrayed him in that
100%,
way. Yeah. It's just
100%. But no, with that conceit that this is a character that is more or less flawless, I think he's pretty well cast. Mm-hmm. But you know who the real star in this movie is, though?
Yeah.
50-year-old Laurence Olivier.
True, he did a great job.
Laurence Olivier.
Yeah, when I was watching, I was like, who? I was like, I didn't realize it was Laurence Olivier until I looked up the photo. I was like, oh, that's Laurence Olivier. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
Now, I don't actually have a lot of experience watching him. I know him from Marathon Man. He's the villain in that, which he's very good.
Yeah, I know he was married to the woman who played Mr. Wilson in Dennis the Menace, the movie.
Oh, no way.
He was also a very famous British actress in her own right. British actor in her own right. But, look, we like, if you, like, take any drama class in school or something, you heard Laurence Olivier, the great actors of all time, in the theater in Britain, Patrick Stewart, they probably... he's up there with Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen and
100%.
Patrick Stewart was probably his not understudy, but he probably looked up to Laurence Olivier in the theater because my guess they were doing. I don't know if Patrick Stewart ever did a play with Laurence Olivier, but he's probably like, I'm not saying they're in the same circles, but he probably was like it was probably like Laurence Olivier and all those guys, and then it was like Patrick Stewart after that.
Yeah.
Not in like ranking, but just like generations wise.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to be pretentious because, like I said, I've seen 2 movies with Laurence Olivier.
Yeah.
But he's a guy that his reputation precedes him. This guy played like all sorts of Shakespeare on Broadway.
He directed Hamlet, which won the Oscar in 1959. He's done multiple Shakespeare plays, and his interpretations are still like studied to this day in acting schools and stuff like that. Yeah.
I mean, and in this movie, as good as Kirk Douglas was, as good as I would say the whole cast really was very good.
Yeah.
Laurence Olivier is on another level in this movie.
Wow.
I mean, I thought so.
Yeah.
Because the Crassus character to me is almost more interesting. What I love about this movie is that you're following 2 groups. You're following 2 kind of conflicts, right?
Yeah.
You're following the one between Spartacus. Luckily, he doesn't have any conflicts in his camp. Everybody's on the same page.
For Spartacus.
Everybody's on the same page. Yeah. They're just trying to escape Italy. But you have the conflict between him and Rome, and it grows because at first Rome doesn't take him seriously. Oh, we can crush him.
Charles Lapton's like, oh, we're gonna destroy him. But then, I don't know how the fuck he convinced Julius Caesar to go along with his plan. I guess Julius Caesar was like in history, like how is Julius Caesar perceived? Is he a very prideful man that he loves Rome so much that he's willing to do?
Probably.
The main thing that plan didn't work because Charles Lapton was like, we're going to let Spartacus go. But Julius Caesar was like, no, we can't let him go. Like, it's a shame to Rome. And, of course, Laurence Olivier's character used, Julius Caesar's love of Rome and his pride to convince him to go along with his plan. I don't think his character loves Rome at all, I think Charles Lapton's character knew, like, oh, he just wants power. And so he used Julius Caesar to gain power, which is actually genius on his part,
Right.
Yeah.
And so that, to me, was what made this... That's what I think makes this story so good, is that not only do you have the Spartacus plot, but you have this really interesting political drama in the
Yeah.
Roman Senate, right? Between these two rivals, Crassus and Gracchus. And yeah, forgive us, all these names sound very similar.
Yeah.
But it's really compelling stuff to me as a fan of political intrigue.
Yes.
It's a genre I really like.
Yeah.
And they do a great job of, introducing this because, so we have Batiatus, who was a real life Roman gladiator. He owned a Roman gladiator school.
Yeah.
And he comes across Spartacus when he's out, just perusing the slave mines or whatever.
Yeah.
Spartacus has acted out. He hates being a slave.
Yeah,
He's
that was
acted
Peter.
out.
That was Peter Udistov's character, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Who I thought also. I think he stole the
He's
movie.
fantastic in
He
this.
is fantastic.
Yes. No, he's absolutely.
You thought
fantastic.
Lawrence Olivier was great, and he was great, but you thought he was like the ball. I think Peter Udistov and Charles Afton on that level.
I think they're all fantastic. Yeah. And Ustinov's great because he actually delivers some comedic relief.
Yeah.
In this, but to back up just a slight bit. So, Ustinov's character, Batiatus, buys Spartacus when he sees, he's being starved to death. Spartacus is being starved to death for his insubordination.
Yeah.
And Batiatus says, oh, you know what? I think I can mold him into something. So he
Yeah.
buys him, and that sets off this large chain of events.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, we're introduced to the Gracchus and Crassus conflict by Crassus visiting Batiatus' school and
Yeah.
seeing the statue of Gracchus, the bust, if you will.
Yeah.
Maybe that's his region senator. I don't know how that all works.
Yeah.
But there's just like this line where, oh, Crassus is coming. I have to cover. He covers it with a rug.
Yes.
He's like, oh,
Yeah.
he hates Gracchus, and you'd think it might be a throwaway line at that time because it's
Yeah.
still the beginning of the movie.
True.
And no, it ends up being a real major plot line, and I just think that's clever writing. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like I said, big fan of just the political drama. And I think that elevates the plot of this.
Sure.
Everything in this movie feels genuinely sequential. Nothing feels shoehorned in. Nothing feels like it's just chance or, like, oh, the writer needs this to get done, so let's just, they happen to be there at this time. It all seems sequential.
Yeah. It all like ties perfectly because like why does Spartacus, why is Laurence Olivier's character so obsessed with Spartacus? Because Spartacus. He caused this, right? He caused this whole thing to happen. If he did not visit him that one day, and the two women did not choose Spartacus, this would not happen. There would not have been a revolt. There would not have been a revolt, a huge uprising. Of course, he doesn't know this. I'm guessing until the very end.
Until the end.
Till the end, it's like you chose him.
Yes.
You know what Spartacus looks like. And
so Crassus's this whole thing is indirectly Crassus's fault. He kicks off this whole slave revolt because
without but first began with when Spartacus faced what was his name?
Draba.
Draba started it all by fighting back, and they never talked about it. They just looked at each other. But then when he fought back, Spartacus finally gained the confidence to start the uprising, and so it happened right there on the spot. It just like everybody. He started killing the gods and then it began.
See, and that's another great point.
Yeah.
So yes, Crassus and Glabrus, his buddy who becomes general, they visit the gladiator school with their two women, and the two women are like, "Oh, let's see a real fight to the death. Let's see it." And they pick out four gladiators for two separate fights. The winner of the first fight is named Crixus. He's a real person too, and was friends with Spartacus eventually. And the second pair was Draba and Spartacus. And what's so interesting about this scene is, modern sensibilities, you're watching and you're thinking, okay, Spartacus is going to win this fight. But the thing is, Draba's a bigger guy.
Yeah.
He's taller. He's fighting with the trident and the net. It's like a different setup. And frankly, it looks like Spartacus should be overwhelmed, right?
Yeah.
And you think, going into it, okay, the Spartacus character is going to just
we've seen these movies. Spartacus is going to win somehow,
Correct.
and then later on he's going to start the revolution.
Right.
But it was not. He didn't start it.
Nope. Draba snares him in the net, gets him against the...
This audio was created with async.com.
Start it.
Nope. Draba snares him in the net, gets him against the wall with the trident to his throat.
Yeah.
He's got him dead to rights. Spartacus has lost his weapon. He's dead. Draba instead looks at him and looks up at the Romans and decides, nah, fuck this. He throws his spear and his trident into the Roman crowd. It's pretty awesome.
True.
And then when he climbs the wall, Crassus is the one that kills him.
Yeah.
And that indirectly sets this all off. It's brilliant writing, and I can actually see it being a novel. This movie, for I don't know how to articulate this better, but this movie kind of does play sequentially like a novel, and it works very well.
Yeah. Also goes into like what was going on during the time of the 1960s, such as Black Revolution and stuff like that, and also is a counterpoint, not counterpoint, I have to say a what's the word I'm looking for? A mirror to that also.
Yeah, sure.
So this also plays into that. Yeah. But yeah, okay, so yes. Okay, so let's go, I guess, let's keep on going deep into the movie. Maybe we can find more spots to get more tangents on. So they referred Trumbull's version, but the original directors for this was Anthony Mann, a great director in his own right. Directed Winchester 73, and to keep on tradition, directed the remake of Cimarron, of the 1930s Best Picture winner, which is considered one of the worst Best Picture winners of all time.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know how the remake is, but it's probably not as good. So it's probably not good. But he made a bunch of other great westerns and stuff like that too. Was the original director, but Douglas felt that he lost control of the film because he would give like Peter Ustinov notes and stuff like that, but so would he, and so he would just mostly agree with Peter Ustinov. So he felt like, yeah, you're doing a good job with the acting and stuff, but you're not doing a good job with the story itself.
Yeah.
You know, the themes of the story. You're not really doing a good job on that. So they decided Anthony Mann, either he got fired or he just left. I'm not sure. They had a conversation or something. They decided not to continue on with it. He directed another movie like this right after. I forgot what it's called, but it's like almost the same themes itself in 1961.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So then they hired Stanley Kubrick. Good old Stanley. Yay. Just right off the back of Paths to Glory, starring also Kirk Douglas. He was 30 years old when he started directing this movie.
Okay.
30, 31. He's very young. They didn't know how he would, react to having this big of a movie. The budget for this film was $12 million, which, according to Wikipedia, is like $113 million today.
Yeah,
so that could be
sure.
even more for even that was written, so maybe like 150. I'm not sure. But yeah, it was a huge film. I mean, there was like 8,000 extras and stuff like that. He wanted to film it in he had huge troubles. He wanted to film it in Spain or in Italy, I forget. Mm-hmm. But the studio was like, no, let's not do that. We'll film the battle scene. We'll film the battle scenes in Spain. Those will be in Spain. Sure. But the talking scenes or the intimate scenes will be in the studio. Which Stanley Kubrick did not really hate because it was like, okay, then that way the actors don't goof around a lot. They can just focus on the craft of acting, and then when the battle scenes happens, he'll get into that. He did get in the fight with cinematography. The guy who was a cinematographer for this was named let's see, what's his name? Is Russell Melty. He actually won Best Cinematographer for this, but he got in a lot of fights with Stanley Kubrick because, well, first thing he did, he increased this to 70 millimeter, which is way bigger in scope. And I'm glad he did because this is another beautiful film. And I like this more than Barry Lyndon. In terms of cinematography wise, I do.
I can't tell you that I disagree.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned the 8,000 extras or whatever.
Yeah.
There are sweeping shots of Spartacus's army in this.
Yeah.
That are just so beautiful that you almost, they're just so massive in scope that you almost think it's like a matte painting or something.
Yeah. I
think
think
incredible.
When after the battle's done and all the women and all the bodies are in certain positions and stuff like that, he made sure that each one was in a certain position to get that effect. So it was like a painting.
And it's haunting.
It's
haunting in that way.
Yeah. My favorite fact about this is that he used audio from a Michigan Spartan game versus Notre Dame game to get the audio. Yeah, of the crowd fighting. So when he said "Go Spartacus," it's like, oh, the Spartan, and then
funny.
they go Spartan, and it's like it was really fun. But Moti had a big problem because he was so perfected because. That's the huge thing about Stanley Kubrick. He's like one of these guys who's like, no, it needs to be perfect. So he's like, he'll do 100 takes just to get it right.
Oh, yeah.
So,
he's known for that.
Yeah. Yeah, but he had, they disagreed with the detailed instructions of the camera work, and he disagreed with the Kubrick's use of light and stuff like that. So it was a big confrontation. And also Trumbo stated, quote, "You can do your job by sitting in your chair and shutting up, and I'll be the director of photography." So, yeah. So I think that's why, very spicy.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Also, Kubrick wanted 2 cameras set up, but the studio wanted 32 cameras, I guess. Which I can't even imagine that. But I guess if you're filming that big of an epic, you need as much cameras as possible.
Yeah, I mean...
So that's true. But then the compromise is 8. So 8 cameras were used during the making of this film.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, too. You said that the cinematographer told him to sit in the chair?
No. Kubrick told the cinematographer to go.
Oh,
sit in the
Kubrick.
chair, and
Oh,
he'll
okay.
be the director of
That
photography.
actually makes more sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was going to say, like, this is, you said he's 30. This is Kubrick before he is Kubrick. Like,
yeah.
He's made Paths of Glory and The Killing.
Yeah, right after this is
Lolita, maybe?
Lolita,
Lolita's
and
after?
then no wait, is it? I think it's what's that movie called? I always forget. Lolita was second, and then it was Doctor Strangelove. Doctor Strangelove, then Lolita, and then Space Odyssey. Then 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So he was obviously an up and comer, but this was before like he maybe could throw around all his weight.
Yeah.
But it doesn't surprise me. He is a spicy
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah. He actually filmed like a bunch of bloody battles. I mean, there's not really that much blood in this film.
No.
There is one great scene where you see Spartacus chop off a man's hand.
Yeah.
Arm, and he just leads out. That's great.
That was
but
great.
They cut mostly all of it out because they got negative test runs and stuff like that.
Boo.
So they left one in, and that's most shit. But yeah. All right. So what else do you want to talk about Spartacus? Can we talk about Gene Simmons for a second?
Yeah. Talk about Gene Simmons.
She was not originally the first choice of this film. I think they hired a German actress. But then they fired her after they saw her do a few works, and it just wasn't working out. So they hired Gene Simmons. She does a great job of this as Verenity. That's her name, right?
Verinia,
yes.
Mm-hmm.
She is the muse of, I guess, Spartacus. The inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing of humanity we see in Spartacus.
Yep.
Do you think she added anything to the film, or she was just like?
She's almost like too idealized, like Spartacus himself.
Yeah.
But I do think that their idealization actually really works. Mm-hmm. And maybe part of it is metatextual because, like, again, you said this was his response to the Ten Commandments, Ben-Hur, right? Those historical epics.
Yeah, he didn't get this, so he made his own.
Excuse me. Yeah, so he said, I'll make my own.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Chuck Heston.
Yeah.
I'll make my own. No, I actually do think she brings a lot to this. And it's just kind of like being his muse.
Yeah.
Those quiet moments between them, like I alluded to earlier, when she tells him, and it's not necessarily the whole cliche of behind every great man is a supportive woman, but it kind of is in this case. Mm-hmm. And I really think that they've got a great relationship. The fact that that they meet when she's thrown in there to be a
prostitute to him.
Yeah. And he sees her not as a piece of meat, but as another slave and someone that he wants to free. I do think that is the start of that fire. That's his goal in all this. His goal is not to overthrow Rome. His goal is never to kill Crassus or to kill Caesar or to kill anybody.
Crassus made his own fault.
Crassus made this all personal.
Yeah.
All Spartacus wants to do is flee Italy and free slaves on his way, and to have a son that is born free, right?
Yeah.
That's all he wants. He's choosing peace, ultimately, not war. It's only when he realizes that he's been duped and, he's not going to get his ships that he was promised by the Sicilians that he says, well, my only option now is to turn around and face Rome.
Yeah.
So I do think that she works. Is she necessary for the actual story of his rebellion? Perhaps not necessarily.
No.
But I think that the character and the actress especially bring a warmth and just kind of like a little levity to things.
I think it's kind of like what the main complaint of Spartacus, right? That he has no fault. So if you just add more characters to prop him up more, it's just going to be him more as the Christ-like figure, which adds on to the very end shot of this film, him being crucified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that last scene's great too.
Yeah.
By the way,
mm-hmm.
This is your son. He will know you. He's a free man, and he will know you. He will know his father. No, it's just it brings. Think about it. How many movies in this era end with the protagonist hanging from a cross?
None.
Right. So you need that little levity to make it all worthwhile, or to make it to, as they say in like wrestling terms, to have the crowd leave happy.
Yeah.
Right. That is, in a way, what her character ultimately does, and I don't mean that as a disparaging thing. I think she's very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Peter Ustinov and Charles Afton. They were, I think, they were the best part of the film.
They're fantastic.
Peter Ustinov was
man.
great. He was a little slimy man who was just like he just wanted to live. And so,
but I'll get my money, right?
Yeah, I'll get my money, right?
Yeah. So he's Batiatus. He owns the Gladiator School.
Yeah.
He is definitely a weasel.
Yeah.
He's kind of like he's not quite high society. He's like upper middle class. I would say.
He's trying to become like up there, but he's still stuck there. So he has to follow along with like the lords and
right. He has to mind his P's and Q's when
Yeah.
Crassus comes. Right. He covers the bust of Gracchus.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's also more friendly with Gracchus, but yes, he's kind of in that middle ground where he's not political royalty or anything. But
Yeah, I love like at the end of the film, Charles Afton is just like, okay, you're my mole now. You're gonna do whatever I say.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
and he's fantastic too. You get
Yeah.
the sense like so Gracchus is older than Crassus, and
Yeah.
he is very clearly a more seasoned politician.
Yeah, he knows what's really like. Like Rome does not really care about Rome itself; just cares about being powerful and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, all the
So-
senators ultimately care about is themselves.
Yeah.
Enriching themselves.
True. And he gets that. He knows, like, this is how you play the game. So he's just like, I'm just going to keep on, like, he does not care. Like, I don't think he's going to do anything great. He's not going to free the slaves, but he doesn't care if Spartacus runs off and kills, like, a few people.
Right.
Or anything like that. He doesn't care.
No, because he's got his.
He's got his, yeah.
And maybe that's somewhat of a commentary on just, like, empires in general, is they
Yeah.
start to fall when those who are in charge only care about enriching themselves. Like, if
Yeah.
you get into politics to enrich yourself, you're kind of a prick.
True.
Right? Like, you're doing it for the wrong reason.
Lawrence Olivier, he got into it because he wanted power.
Yeah.
He just wanted to flaunt everything.
Yes.
So, and Charles Afton, he's like an aging politician. He's been around the game so long he doesn't really give a shit. So, but he knows how to work it.
Yes.
So he's going to use he tried to use Julius Caesar to gain power, but I guess he underestimated Julius Caesar's pride, and then we get the other politician, which is the one who wants the power, and he doesn't have the power yet, and only Crassus does, and so, it comes back to bite him in the ass, because I don't think Charles Afton does not die, right? He's just he's just
kind of like lame duck.
He's just thrown away, right? He's just thrown away into a cabin away from Rome.
Yeah, he's exiled.
He's exiled, yeah.
Yep, you still have your senatorial. We still recognize you as a senator, but like don't fucking come near here, basically.
I think this is one of actually the complaints of the film, because we talked about the ending of how it's just like the kid's a free man, but like he didn't make him a free man. Spartacus didn't make the kid free. It was like the last ditch effort of this that's good thing Charles Afton can do. He'll free his wife. Actually, it's not even a that's good ditch effort. He just did it to piss off Laurence Olivier.
That's the
That's
true.
the thing. It's just like, no, what? I'll take his fucking woman, and then it's like. So really, Spartacus just uses as a pawn in the game of politics again. Just a man who is used as a beacon of hope to be used in this way, just so. I mean, we got a happy ending, but was it really happy? He got hung, he got crucified, and the only reason why he's free is because Charles Afton's character was like, no, let's fuck with Laurence Olivier.
That is one way of looking at it. That is the on paper more cynical, more realistic way of looking at it. But if you want to I do think that Spartacus has plenty of agency here in that, yes, there is so much out of his control because he doesn't have the social standing that these guys do.
Yeah.
But he also was so beloved by his own men that even when they were offered a chance at, you can return to your normal slave lives, we'll pretend none of this happened. None of them,
They all said, I am Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
So help me God, I am Spartacus.
Where was like the first time you think you heard that?
Bravo's or the AFI, American Film Institute's like top 100
Really?
movie quotes.
Yeah.
That was definitely it.
I'm pretty sure I saw it in like some kind of parody or something.
Yeah,
where somebody said they didn't say
parodied
Spartacus, but they said like who's like keg is this? And somebody said I'm Spartacus. Or something like that.
Like a commercial or something.
I definitely like some kind of parody.
There may be there actually is, I think, a beer commercial like that,
really?
And it's like. I think you just kind of jarred something loose. It might have been a Super Bowl commercial. I'll do research and let us know. I'll update people on the next show. If I remember, I'll have to make a note for myself. I think there is a parody like beer commercial or something that, it's like the guys, everyone's trying to claim the beer or whatever for themselves.
Yeah.
It's obviously been parodied to death. It's a great scene, though.
Yeah.
I really did think it was a great scene. And I mean, it's coming from a mile away, right?
Yeah.
It's been so done to death. But that's where I first heard of AFI's top 100 movie quotes.
That's cool. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great scene. I
Yeah.
mean, that's where I think his agency lies, though.
Yeah,
Again, this is not about a warrior king, right?
Yeah.
This is about a guy who just wants freedom for people, like for himself and for his peers. He wants men to be born free. He doesn't.
Yeah, his main thing was just to get his son freedom, and
Right.
He didn't accomplish this in the way he wanted, but he got it somehow.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, we take it for granted here. I mean, for all its foibles, in America, we don't have to worry about being enslaved, per se, you know.
At least
So
not.
we might take it for granted, but, like, you put yourself in these people's position. This is like a caste system or whatever type of thing. If you're just born, wherever you're born into, that's who you are. You can't get rich. You can't climb the social ladder.
Yeah, and of course that was part of a history for a while, but not.
Oh,
well,
sure.
yeah.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, these slaves don't even think about freedom. It's not.
Yeah.
This is just how it is.
At least Spartacus gave him the idea, so
Right.
maybe that his son could give him the idea of freedom even more.
Right. Maybe it's
So-
a domino. And again, it's worth noting that this is toward the end of the Roman Republic.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
They
isn't
become
the end?
corrupt.
Like, I was wondering, like, how close to the fall of Rome is this? Because I don't really know the plotline of Julius Caesar, because I don't know if he was like at the middle of the Rome Empire or like at the very end.
I think he's toward the end.
Yeah.
If I don't know my Roman history as much as I should, but it's all very interesting every
Yeah.
time you hear something
True.
of it. But I think that's the whole point, is that he's not a warrior king. This is a leader. This is somebody that makes people think. This is someone that makes people
Yeah.
see the value in themselves. This is somebody that points out that these fat cats in the Roman Senate bleed just like us. There's
Yeah.
no difference between us and them except they were born into this.
Yeah, true.
And I think that's where he earns the ending. So
Yeah.
I understand that criticism.
Yeah.
It's
I wonder if that
understandable.
was Stanley Kubrick's at least effort, because I know him and, like I said, him and Trumbo fought a lot on set during the film. So he was just like, okay, how about this? And it was like, okay, we'll do that. So at least
Here, damn.
yeah, at least like this gives us his kind of like morality thing, where it's like, okay, he's free, like his son's free, but he didn't earn it. So
Maybe.
yeah,
And maybe, I mean, like, either way, whether or not Spartacus, that would almost kind of make it more interesting, right? Like, if, we're so used to the hero having all that effect.
Yeah.
To have it where narratively the hero really didn't ultimately accomplish anything is kind of interesting.
yeah,
Noteworthy, unique anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't see it like that, personally.
Mm-hmm.
But I do understand that complaint.
true. I would say, to get off that, another positive of this movie, I like the background characters of this film. Not all of them were Kirk Douglas handsome or Tony Curtis handsome.
Oh, no.
A lot of them were little people, older women, older men,
Yeah.
young children. It's just like this assortment of people just living their lives. I must admit, like, people complain about the length of this film. I do believe like the long segments of them just showing them the lives of being a Roman or being a free man in his army. Well, great. I actually did love those. It just shows like what these people are fighting for. Why they want to be free.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And I
Yeah.
think that those scenes with the old couple dancing and the
Yeah.
kids playing games
Yeah.
and stuff, those are actually some of the most unique scenes to me, is when when his army has set camp and you see that it's not just an army. Like, it is obviously protected by the paramilitary side of it,
Yeah.
but it's a whole society.
Whole society,
It's a
yeah.
whole little civilization that they founded of all these disparate people from all over the, Europe anyway, whatever, that have been enslaved, and that's what they have in common. And all they want is to leave Italy. That's all they want.
Yeah, all they want. They would had ships, but no, they were like, no, you're not going to leave because you can't.
Yeah,
Because
Crassus,
the great pride of Rome, great pride of Rome to now, the great pride of America, but the great make America great again. But you can go into many other side tangents on, how this relates today, back then, and everything else. But like the pride of Rome, you can't do it because you got to make sure Rome is strong. But yeah.
No, it's absolutely an analogy that you see,
Today,
anytime.
past. Yeah,
anytime.
exactly. Anytime.
And that is, yes, that's why I think that those scenes are so necessary, because,
Yeah.
again, it humanizes this. It shows that this is not just about bloodshed or revenge. This
Yeah.
is about escape and freedom.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is more powerful, frankly, than
Yeah.
I want revenge over you, my slaver.
True.
So, those quiet scenes when they've set camp, I think it's brilliant. And the
Yeah.
length of the movie didn't bother.
I will admit, I
bother
did
me.
watch this in 3 parts.
I watched it in 2.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I did. How do you feel about like how he began the movie? Because this movie doesn't just begin with like we see Spartacus. It begins with like a 2 to 3 minute like symphony, and then the movie starts.
Yeah, an overture.
An overture.
Yeah, no, that's an
and
old school movie
yeah,
thing.
then an intermission happens, then an overture happens. Then
It's an old school movie thing. I
Yeah.
will say, actually, I thought the music in this movie was kind of weak.
Huh.
Kind of just not super noteworthy anyway.
yeah.
I won't say it's
Not
weak.
on the
it's just-
level of Barbie and the 12 Dancing Princesses with the Czechoslovakia Philharmonic. Yes.
Correct. Yes.
Yes.
No, I mean not to say it's bad. It's just it didn't stand out. There were
Yeah.
no pieces that really stood out to me.
All right.
But the overture, that's just kind of like West Side Story had an overture where
Yeah.
it's the first 5 minutes is just music. A lot of
Yeah.
movies did that at the time.
So I was
So
watching. I was like, "Why is this black? What's going on?" And then I realized, "Oh wait, I gotta wait till the song finishes and then the movie starts."
yeah, that's an old school movie. And there was the 1960 equivalent to "It's More Fun at MJR."
I actually got like brainwashed into doing that one time. I was like vehemently against it, but then all of a sudden we were watching a movie and then it's like a big time out. Then I went. I was like, "What happened?"
And
What
now
happened?
you forever crossed over into the
Yeah.
being a clapper.
Yeah, true.
I've never
for those
collected that.
for those who do not know, MJR is a movie theater chain here in Michigan. Movies Just Right.
Yeah.
That they have a song that plays before the movie starts, and every time it plays, people clap during like a part of it. So it goes like,
It's more than just a movie. It's a big night out. Dun, dun, dun.
and then like I was against that, and then all of a sudden, just like I was shorting his cat or something. You know, you train a cat, so you give a cat a treat so much that it starts to act.
Pavlov's dog.
Pavlov's dog, yeah. It worked on me. Like, what the fuck
That's
just
funny,
happened?
man.
Yeah.
I've never clapped during that.
Yeah.
But, I'm not like, if people want to have their fun, go for it. But
Yeah.
I do think that's, that is funny.
Yeah. I was trained and it worked. Yeah. Let's see, what else about this film, TJ? What else can we talk about? Because, I think the script was
Battle
great.
scenes?
Battle scenes? Oh, the battle scenes.
The battle scene at the end was outstanding.
Yeah.
When they have those, like, rolling giant corn
Oh,
cobs.
yes.
I don't even know what you
They're
call
on
them.
fire. And
Yeah.
just, yeah.
How did they do that? Like, they actually have these, like, what I would call giant cob-looking
Yeah.
things that they light a fire. And as the Romans march closer to them, they just release them. And they roll after the Roman army.
Yeah.
And there are scenes up close of people getting bowled over by these flaming
set on
cobs.
fire,
And it's
yeah.
like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Like, I know 1960s they knew how to do stunts like that. But, like, did they really take all the care in the world?
I don't know, but that's what's impressive about this film.
This audio was created with async.com.
They take all the care in the world.
I don't know, but that's what's impressive about this film. Like, he was 30, Stanley Kubrick was 30 years old when he directed this movie, which is very young for a director.
That's your age.
That's my age. That's me. And look what he's done.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's really impressive. But he sat on, like, towers and stuff and started directing people. And it actually is impressive of what he got with his 8 cameras, where he just shot and everything. Like, the whole action battle. He got mostly everything. It's just
Oh my gosh,
it's just
incredible.
like it's just controlled chaos, and that's what he made. So
And that's how I would imagine warfare from this time would be.
Yeah.
It's not super choreographed.
it's
It
not
shouldn't
like
look
Barry
that.
Lyndon where you just stand in a fucking row and get shot at. Like, I never understood that. Even when I was young, I was like, why the fuck are they just standing
Because
there?
they just had that many numbers.
Yeah, they were just like, we'll just stand here and we'll just keep on marching forward. I'm like, then I saw like a TV movie where it's like they actually saw guerrilla warfare. And I was like, no wonder we won the fucking war. They just fucking... I know they had the numbers, but they just kept their fucking
What if
walking
we just
in line.
hide in some bushes? And
Yeah, just hide in a fucking
just-
bush and shoot. That's
Yeah.
it. And we can win this war. And
Yeah.
we did. It was like, yeah.
What a
Like,
novel
I was
concept.
thinking, like... Because I was thinking, like, you know how, like, football players back then were, like when, like, running backs or, like, quarterbacks would run away and, like, avoid them and stuff like that. Like, oh, these guys are cowards. They wanted to stand there and get hit. I'm like, no, duh.
He doesn't want to
I
take years off his life.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah. I was like, that's what I think about the British Army back then. I was like, yeah, they just did it because it was like gentlemanly, or like the art of wars, or like the
I think
manhood
there's some
war
of
or
that.
some shit.
I think there's some of that.
Yeah,
And some of it also just the royal family being like, we have so many of them.
yeah. It's just like this
Send them off.
this march.
Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah.
Fewer mouths to feed anyway.
Yeah, because
Who
it's
knows?
like it's the way war needs to be.
It's
you need
so fucking
yeah, it's so
stupid.
stupid. It's like, yeah, no wonder we guerrilla warfare. You just move around and you just boom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, the war scenes were great. I did love them. Once again, we go back to the great scene where Kurt Douglas chops a man's hand off, which is the only like really bloody scene they could show back then. I'm guessing. I kind of wish there was more. I wish they didn't have to cut more, but I guess censors back then, also the crowd were interested in very
I'm
bloody.
not surprised. I was actually surprised
I think
with that
maybe
scene.
in some ways it strengthens the film because there's not that much blood, and in some ways it weakens the film because it doesn't show like brutality of war that like these people had to fight for freedom. Mm-hmm. And I understand like back then B movies were like really bloody and stuff, so maybe if it was too bloody, it would be considered like that kind of movie. But or maybe I'm just talking out of my ass. I'm not sure, but I don't know.
No, I think that you're right on.
Yeah.
More than what they showed would be too shocking for audiences.
Yeah, it's true. And maybe considered too shocking. I'm not sure, but, for us sickos, yay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Can you think of anything else to explain about this movie, TJ?
Honestly, without going beat for beat, not really. It's a classic. It's a classic old school Hollywood historical epic.
Yeah,
and it's directed by a guy who's great with visuals.
Yeah, just right now, he's just starting at the top of his game.
Yeah.
So you're gonna see like way better stuff at the way end.
Yeah, this is
like in the pantheon of Stanley Kubrick. This is not considered one of his masterpieces. This is considered a very good film, but he's not up there with like 2001: Space Odyssey or even Doctor Strangelove. I think it's there with like Lolita. Because not many people consider Lolita as a great,
I'd say it's there with Paths of Glory.
Yeah, it's in Paths of Glory, but even though I like Lolita, but it's just like it's not up there with like Doctor Strangelove or like I said, 2001: Space Odyssey,
Shining,
or like
Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket,
maybe. Yeah,
maybe it's there with Full Metal Jacket because I don't know how people view Full Metal Jacket as like a masterpiece of his.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like the second half. Actually, now I think about it,
that's true. I think I heard that.
They're missing the point. I love the second half of that movie. Anyway, well, that's a different discussion for another time.
Yeah,
I think it's just a really strong historical fiction film with a lot of just like narrative layers.
Yeah.
That's the interesting thing. Like what you just said was interesting to me. This is a truly great movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd call it a masterpiece. It is competent. It's above competent on every level.
True.
Acting, cinematography, writing, pacing. Everything.
Yeah.
It's above average. It gets high marks. But would I call it a masterpiece? No. Probably because I probably won't ever watch this again.
Yeah.
But like I really did like it quite a bit.
Me too. I found it to be even more modern than it was,
Yeah.
Like even though people complain like it's old because it's like the costumes are like old and everybody's beautiful and stuff like that. Even like Gene Simmons' character is just like, okay, she's like very beautiful, like, it doesn't really make sense with the like her being in slavery and dealing with like years of torment and torture, and especially the costumes and all that stuff. I understand there's criticism of that, and but this still felt very modern to me, especially like the cinematography and the act and the story itself. Because I think that's the power of Stanley Kubrick. He made everything feel modern or like everything feels timeless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, if you go into it knowing what to expect, there's so much to enjoy in this.
True.
I will say my favorite critique of this movie, or criticism, whatever you will, comes from The Sopranos. When hardened gangster Ralphie, played by Joe Pantoliano, is watching this movie with his gumar, because like he's like going through this like Roman phase, like it's like a kind of a joke on the show, and he's watching the scene when Draba fights Spartacus, and he goes, "Come on!" He's watching Spartacus. He goes, "Come on! You didn't have flat tops in ancient Rome."
Yeah, that's, I think about that. Yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah,
that's my favorite critique of this movie.
Yeah,
it is interesting though. It's a fantastic movie. I would actually really highly recommend watching it for the acting and for the characters and just for it all.
I mean, if you have 3 hours, I said,
watch it in half. Listen, we all got jobs. We got shit to do.
Yeah.
There is no harm in splitting it at the.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason there's an intermission.
Right.
It's
Split it up.
Yeah.
Split it up. People had fewer things to do back in the day,
True.
and they wanted movies this long with the intermission because it was an event.
True.
Right? Like movies can still be an event, but like you know why they don't do intermissions anymore? It's so that the theater can pack as many showings in as possible.
Yeah.
I would love if longer movies had an intermission.
True.
Like to have the option to stretch and use the restroom.
That's true.
You know?
Because I think the theory of like if we have we never grew up with intermissions. Like our parents didn't grow up with intermissions and stuff like that. So it's just like it's nothing we really dealt with. Like if we were like from if 1940s was sooner, and we're like. We just never did it. So I don't know what would happen because I didn't see like only one movie I can think of had intermission. That was like one of the Tarantino movies. I believe like
Yeah.
I believe the one in the cabin. I forget what it's called.
Oh, Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight.
It
Yes.
did, didn't it?
That had intermission, but I think that's the only one. But we never really grew up with that, so it's not going to be like not going to be like people are not going to be nostalgia for it. Or
It
like
was intermission, man.
yeah,
I don't know.
But
Tarantino, they also did with the Grindhouse movies.
yeah,
But they played those fake trailers in between, so I didn't want to get up.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah, I don't let the length of a movie ever be
True.
the deterrent for you.
Yeah.
If you got to break it up,
yeah.
Twin Peaks: The
I
Return.
mean, this is
there
not
you
a
go.
boring movie. If it was the boring movies, then yeah, we would complain. But if it's,
Well, then that's a different
that's a
story.
different story.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that's mostly it. I mean, we touched on Tony Curtis a little bit, but he fit because we thought he wouldn't, but he fit perfectly.
Yeah,
as well.
it's kind of like Verinia. Is he like part of the, could I remove Verinia from my, well, except for the ending, I guess.
Yeah.
I was going to say I could remove her from the synopsis and it wouldn't make a difference. It's kind of nice having supporting characters that aren't super crucial to the plot, but they flesh the world out.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about Tony Curtis's character. Like I talked about, it highlights how Spartacus is a nurturing leader.
Yeah.
And that is what leaders need to be.
Yeah.
Nurturing isn't just like being a mother or a father. It's about being a leader. It's about identifying people's strengths and finding ways to maximize them for that person's betterment and for your society's betterment. And that is what Spartacus has built here, is a society. Yes, one that is hinging on military might because, frankly, in that kind of environment, you need that.
Sure.
Right? But that's why I like Tony Curtis's inclusion here. And like I said, he really surprised me. I thought it would just be so jarring to see this Flintstones character, right?
Yeah.
This, just among, with his pretty boy eyes, and I don't mean that disparagingly.
Yeah.
He's a
You
good-looking
expect
man.
him with the fedora on and be like,
right.
where are the dames at? Or
Right.
something like that.
He's
Yeah.
just an objectively good-looking guy.
Yeah.
He's a handsome guy, and I thought it would be jarring to see him among the. But they make him fit into this world. So, yeah, I think everything in this movie works.
Yeah.
I really do. Even the flat top,
Uh-huh.
because even at a metatextual level, it's like it is funny looking back at. This is a movie about ancient Romans. We've got flat tops, English accents.
Yeah.
Like none of it is historically accurate, but it all works in a in a theatrical level. It all works to me.
Well, I guess we're getting to our final thoughts about this. I guess I'll go first. I consider this a great movie. Is it one of Kubrick's best? No, because we know what's going to happen in the next few years. I mean, we're going to see groundbreaking cinematography, storytelling, and, people consider masterpieces.
Yeah.
But
changing the film,
changing the film, way people make films, and changing the way films look. I think this is like the first step of it.
Yeah.
You definitely tell this is just him getting his juices flowing. But this film is very enjoyable. Cinematography is beautiful. Acting's great. I love Peter Ustinov in this film. There's a reason why, I'll get into it later, but there's a reason why he won Best Supporting Actor in this film, because he's that great in it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, would I watch this again? I would say maybe, I don't know. I don't know, I have to be in the right mood, but it's definitely a film you should see. I think this deserves at least 5 stars out of 6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, easy.
Yeah.
I'll trumpet that mindset as well.
Yeah.
You're right. It's like this is pre-Kubrick in auteur. Like Kubrick kind of did usher in the auteur movement of the 70s.
True, yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
He was
the
beginning.
He was
of
one
it.
of them.
He was one of them. Yeah.
100%.
He was way before, way before it started. But he was how can I compare this? He was what's a good way to compare this? He was when he was punk before punk happened. He was
Yeah, there you
he
go.
was like
There you
the
go.
garage bands of Seattle, Washington, the Sonics.
Sure,
the
sure,
guys with heavy noises and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, what is this music? And then punk happens. It's like, oh, this was inspired. This is this is all before that. Yeah,
He was absolutely kind of the link between golden age 60s Hollywood and where studios had more influence over the product.
Yeah.
And then the movement to hey, the studio saying, let's just hire this new wave of
these weird directors.
Yeah, we don't necessarily get them, but they'll make us money. They have a vision that is
Sure.
reverberating with the masses. Let's bring them in.
Yeah, because this is mostly his only Hollywood film, if you think about it.
This is super marketable.
Yeah, it's super
for the time.
marketable. Yeah, I mean, this was the job he was hired for. He wasn't. Like we said, he wasn't even. He wasn't rejected for this.
Which is so funny because again, I don't necessarily like to come off as Kubrick's perfect and everything he does is you can't question. There are plenty of people that don't like Stanley Kubrick's work.
Yeah.
And I'm going to respect that opinion because
Yeah.
it's all so subjective. But this is an incredibly competent director, at the very least.
Yeah.
It's an incredibly competent director overseeing an incredibly competent production.
Yep.
Right? Every aspect of this is firing on all cylinders. My only real complaint, or I don't even want to call it a complaint, my only real thing that keeps taking me out of it is like John Ireland being 42,
Yeah.
Kirk Douglas being 42,
Yeah.
Laurence Olivier being 50. And again, would I change anything? No, because I love metatext, as you've heard me mention all these times now. I love that about this. The fact that it does show its age. I don't need movies to always be timeless. I need their narratives and their themes. I prefer those to be more timeless.
Yeah.
But I love older cinema, right?
Yeah.
And this being a product of its time and still being entertaining on its own merits in today's time, bravo. This is a very good movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would easily give this a 5, 5.5 even.
Cool.
I'll give it a 5.25
Okay.
because of that damn flat top.
Yeah.
But no,
Right.
great movie. I mean, if I watch it again, it won't be for a while. Just put it that way.
Yeah,
But no,
sure.
definitely very good. High recommend.
True. Okay, so that's our thoughts. Let's see what everybody else thought. So,
Sure.
Ebert, 3 stars. Really surprising.
Tough
3
cookie,
stars.
man.
He saw this 3 times, back in 1960, 1967, and then 1991 when they restored it.
Mm-hmm.
So he says, let's see, he starts by saying, quote, since 3 decades later in the lovely restored version, Spartacus still plays like an extraordinary epic, and its intellectual strength is still there, but other elements of the films have been dated. The most craziest thing about it, from today's standards, is that the closest without an obligatory happy ending. An audience that has watched for 187 minutes doesn't get a tidy, mindless conclusion.
Mm.
So yeah, let's see what else he says. Let's see, the power of the battle spectacle and the strength of the certain performances, especially Lovier's fire, Douglas' strength, and Afton's mild amusement at the falls with humankind. Most entertaining performance in the movie is Ustinov, of course, upstages everybody, and of course he won the Oscar. All historical films share the danger that their costumes and hairstyles will age badly, which is kind of right. I mean, yeah, it just kind of aged badly, especially since newer films show like what it actually even more historically was like. You know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he says Spartacus stands and divides between early epics where female characters tend to look like models with hairstyles, and later epics where they emphasize more historical accuracy, of course. Perhaps the most interesting element of Spartacus is its buried political assumptions. The movie is about revolution and clearly reflects the decade of the parasitical upper class and the superior moral fiber of the slaves.
Yeah.
But at the end, Spartacus, like Jesus, dies on the cross. In the final scene, his wife beneath him holds his child, saying, "He will live a free man, Spartacus." Yes, but the baby's freedom was granted him as not its right, but because of the benevolence of a soft-hearted old Crackus today, that wouldn't be enough.
Maybe he's right.
Maybe he is right. You know,
Maybe he's right.
Like, you know, the point I said, like, you know, like he wasn't freed because Spartacus did it. He was freed because he said soft-hearted old Crackus, but it wasn't really soft-hearted. He just wanted to piss off onto the previous character.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Which is pretty funny. But
Yeah.
hey, maybe in the end it doesn't matter. He got what he wanted, and maybe the scene just can be a nice, you know, kind of bow on things. Like, hey, this didn't end well for our hero, but at least he got, whether or not it was his doing, he got what he was trying to get this whole time.
true.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
not always to read it.
Letterboxd gave this 3.9 stars. I didn't have many funny ones. I did like this one. Patrick Williams, the YouTuber, the movie YouTuber, gave this 3 stars. I audibly gasped when Spartacus chopped a guy's hand off, and it spurted blood because I didn't think movies were allowed to do that back then.
That's a good
Good point. Yeah.
You get one. It's like the F word in R-rated movies.
Yeah, you
nowadays.
get
You
one.
one hand.
You get one hand chop off. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So Oscars, baby, 1960s. This won a lot of
boy.
awards.
Oh boy.
Best supporting actor, Peter Ustinov, deserved it.
Mm-hmm.
Best art direction, Alexander Golson, Eric Obram, Russell A. Gossman, and Julia Hammond. Of course, best cinematography, Russell Mehta. Best costume design, Arlington Vowles and Bill Thomas. And I believe it was nominated for film editing and best music score. Surprisingly, not best picture. That was not nominated at all.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So this
The
was the
hell?
best picture year. This was the year of The Apartment.
Okay.
Which we can, and if we ever watch The Apartment, we can debate whether this deserved the win or not. But I think it did. I mean, The Apartment is also considered one of the greatest films ever made. Billy Wilder is like one of his finest films.
Yeah.
So Best Picture was The
I'll have to
Apartment,
watch that.
The Alamo, Elmer Gentry, Sons and Lovers, and The Sundowners. One film I have heard of. 4 films I have not heard of. So I think you could have snuck in Spartacus.
I think so.
I don't know why Spartacus was not nominated. Still, hey, Billy Wilder has a photo still in his Wikipedia of him not having his eyes closed.
Mid-blink.
Mid-blink. I love it. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why. That goes the whole history of Stanley Kubrick films. You know, for some reason he never wins the big one. I don't know why.
Because I can't account for this one. This one, by all means, I cannot believe was not nominated.
Yeah.
I really cannot believe this was not nominated for Best Picture. You want to tell me 2001 Clockwork Orange, Full Metal Jacket, Shining? I'm fine, because as lauded as those are, I could see them not having the mainstream appeal at the time.
Yeah.
Like maybe they're huge among young people, counterculture, right?
Maybe but the film scene loved it, but not like the general. I'm not saying the general public did love it, but
right. The people that this is the same Academy that nominated Dr. Dolittle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
Who knows? And again, there's politics involved there too. Maybe they don't. The Academy could not like Stanley Kubrick. He was an abrasive person.
He was an abrasive person. A lot of people he did piss off a lot of people.
So you never know.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a shame though. This was definitely deserving of Best Picture nomination.
Yeah, at least. I don't know about winning. I mean, The Apartment is really great, but at least it is deserved to be nominated. You are right about that. The top 10 films of 1960, TJ. Number 1, Spartacus.
Yeah, wow.
Number 2, Psycho. Also not nominated for some reason. I don't know. Maybe because it was a horror movie.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It wasn't respected at the time.
Yeah, I would just say maybe
Horror
Spartacus wasn't nominated because it's a Roman movie, but no, they did that all the time back then. Those films were nominated.
Ben-Hur was nominated,
yeah.
right? I'm damn sure it was.
True, yeah. 3, Exodus. I don't know what that means.
Commandments.
I don't know.
Probably another historical epic.
Yeah, true. 4, Swiss Family Robinson.
Okay.
Is that a movie about a family trapped on an island and they make inventions and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Number 5, The Alamo. You can't forget it, TJ.
Hey,
did you know there's no basement in The Alamo?
No.
You didn't get that. Okay, that's a reference of
what is that a reference to?
Pee-wee's
oh, yeah.
Pee-wee's big movie.
Okay,
yep. That's the title of the movie. Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Yeah.
Okay.
When he goes to the basement of the Alamo, he gets bike, and it's there's no basement in the Alamo.
That's right.
And everybody laughs at him.
I knew that sounded like an allusion to something.
Yeah. Number 6, The World of Susie Wong. Number 7, Butterfield 8. For some reason, Butterfield is spelled capital B, capital U, and then all lowercase. I don't know why. I'm not sure if this is the one that's cheesy, because I know, Elizabeth Taylor and, Richard Burton started a movie together, and it's very campy. I'm not sure if it's this one or another one. But I'll look that up later. Number 8, The Apartment. Number 9, Ocean's 11. The boring one. The one with all the Rat Pack.
Yeah.
Yeah. And number 10, a movie called From the Terrace.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, hey, is this the first time we watched a number 1 movie?
I think so.
I can't
remember any other movie.
Clifford, maybe?
Maybe. Who knows?
But definitely this one. That's cool.
Yeah, that's
very cool.
Well, it's almost 2 hours, TJ. I think this review will definitely be in 2 parts because the shitty editing system I use, for some reason, can't do 2-hour edits. I don't know why. But it
sounds like a skill issue.
Yeah, sounds like a skill issue. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. That's our thoughts on Spartacus. Oh, wait, we got to spin the wheel, TJ.
Oh, we do. I will
pull
that up right away.
Wheel.
I have it ready. I took Spartacus off of it, so I will be ready here.
Sure, yes.
Let me just pull this bad boy up.
Mm-hmm. Because I believe we only have 2 movies left. I really hope it's Barbie, and then we go Eyes Wide Shut. I'm really hoping.
Me too.
Yeah.
All right.
But we will be honest. We'll watch the next movie no matter what. All right, let's spin this sucker. What we got, TJ? Yay! It's Barbie and what is it?
Barbie and the Diamond Castle.
Barbie and the Diamond Castle, baby. We got a wish.
Oh my God.
We're gonna see Tom Cruise dick last. All right.
Saving the best for last, I guess.
Well, before we go, let's also do the spiel. If you like us, follow us on YouTube, follow us on SoundCloud, and follow us on Spotify. like us, leave us a comment, subscribe, do whatever you need to do to spread this around the nation so we can be the most popular podcast of all time.
Invite us to
and
parties,
destroy
yes.
everything and invite us to parties. But that's it for this week's, folks. That's a review of Spartacus. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm Mo, and you know what? I'm not Spartacus.
And I'm TJ, and after watching what happened to Spartacus, I would also like to renounce my Spartacus-ship too.
Yes.
You're Spartacus.
You're Spartacus.
No, I said you're Spartacus.
No, you're Spartacus.
Oh, you're Spartacus.
No, you're Spartacus.
You're Spartacus.
You're Spartacus.
You're Spartacus, goddammit. You're Spartacus.
You're Spartacus.
Just let him play us out. Just
okay, let's have Bobby Mitchell play us out. Goodbye, everybody. Love you.
He's Spartacus.
This audio was created with async.com.